NBA is back, and it's all that. Ha! Nah, man. Welcome to the I Be Ballin' basketball show with your girl Ashley. I Be Ballin'. We're gonna cover the NBA. The NBA is back, y'all, and this is the preview. We're gonna do team previews and also award predictions. We doing all that. You heard my great guest Cal with a great basketball style. What's up?
Hey, Ashley. Great to be back and talking basketball.
Oh, yeah. Big basketball fan, big Bucks fan. We're going to start with the Eastern Conference first. The East. The beasts of the East, you heard? So, we got to start with the Celtics because they are the defending champs, right?
Ooh, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Yeah, he's just joking, They're gonna be contending for a very long time. Jason Tatum got a new form. Whoop, whoop. Jaylen Brown, he's still mad because he wasn't on the Olympic team, but he got Finals MVP. They got Drew Holiday, who used to be a Buck. They got KP, Al Horford. They got Derek White. What do you guys? Oh, they also re-signed that shooter, Silva. I'll just say SM. I think those are his initials. Like he's the shooter.
Steve Mihailuk?
Oh yeah.
He's on the
I
team.
can't pronounce that. I can't pronounce it.
He's on the Celtics.
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
And also
Sam Hauser.
Yep. Yeah, Sam Hauser.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yep.
And don't forget, 90-year-old Al Horford. We can't forget about him.
Yeah. I can't forget about him. So, do you think they're gonna repeat? Because I feel like they hardly have any weaknesses, Do they have any weaknesses? Do you see something in their way?
Maybe for weaknesses, I would just say like depth and like their bench. Like I don't know if I'm sold on a lot of their guys per se from the bench. I don't know. Peyton Pritchard has his moments for sure. Hauser was a great shooter last year. He'll have good moments. So I don't want to like discredit those guys, but I don't see a whole lot on their bench that concerns me, really.
You were right.
What was I right about?
He went to the Jazz.
Mihailuk?
Yeah, he went to the Jazz. You were right. He's not on the team anymore.
I was unsure about that.
Yeah. They re-signed Luke Kennard, Xavier Tillman.
Luke Cornett.
Yeah. They did have Lonnie Walker, but they waived him.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
Concerns, I would say the health of Porzingis obviously is a big concern. That's just same with any team that has a major piece that has injury concern. We know about that with Chris Middleton. Other teams know about that with their stars. I would just say health is a concern for Porzingis. I would say age a little bit since Horford is pretty old. I don't know how he continues to do it, but I'm going to be like 90 years old and in a nursing home, and I'm going to turn on the TV and there's Al Horford is going to be like making a 3 against the Bucks, and I'm just going to be like, this doesn't make sense. Like, what year is it? Like, I don't know how this is possible. So he's just like this like time traveling, like eternal, like basketball player or something that will like exist amongst any era, or I don't know. And it has to, like, you have to think that, like, it has to end at some point, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. I don't
The
know.
water fountain of youth.
The eternal Al Horford. If you're watching this, Al Horford, please feel free to send me your tips on how to never age, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know that. Oh man.
Age.
So I would say just age, some injury concern. Drew, I know everybody loves him, but he's not necessarily a spring chicken either. So I
True.
mean, he's getting a little older. Um, I don't know. I mean, last year, not to hate, but they didn't really beat any healthy team except for the Mavericks in the finals. So their path to the finals, they weren't challenged by anyone. They didn't have to play Philadelphia. They didn't have to see Embiid. They didn't have to play Milwaukee. They didn't have to see Giannis. They didn't have to play the Heat. They didn't have to see Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. Like, they played a Pacer team that was young and inexperienced and got lucky with their matchups. So I don't know. Like, I view Boston differently than a lot of the media people, as they're like completely unbeatable and no one can challenge them and they're the next dynasty for 5 years. I don't see them that way. Like, I just don't. Like, maybe that's just because I'm a Bucks fan and I want to believe that the Bucks can beat them if they're healthy. I don't know. I just don't see them. I see them as a good team, obviously. Like, I'm not hating on them. Like, they had a great series against the Mavericks. The Mavericks were healthy, so I it's not like I'm saying they didn't earn the championship. They did have to play a healthy Mavericks team, so they earned that. I just don't see them as like the Warriors with Durant and Curry, or some team that can't be challenged. I think if other teams in the East this year are healthy this time around for the playoffs, I think it's going to be more of a challenge. It's possible that Boston still comes out on top and wins again and goes to the finals again. And, then I'll have to maybe rethink what I felt or what I thought. But as of now, this is just kind of how I feel. I just hope we get a healthier playoffs this year for the East. That's all I hope for. A healthy Bucks Celtics series would be amazing, and that's all I want. That's all I want.
Good point. Good point. Health is big. Sometimes it's not the best. Sometimes it's the healthiest who wins. And like you said, they weren't really tested. So maybe they'll be tested more and then maybe prove some, because trying to repeat is way harder than winning the first.
Did you
But
hear what Did you hear what Joe Mazzulla said when they asked him, like, recently, about if there was pressure to repeat as champions, and
oh,
he was like, "Oh, like, there's no pressure in life. Like, we're all gonna be dead soon. Like, we get a short amount of time to live on Earth, and we just have to do what we can do each day and live each day and enjoy each day because we're all gonna be dead or something." And I'm just like, wow, like, okay.
that's way off the base. That's not what they were talking about, Joe.
I don't know. It was He has some interesting interviews, kind of like has a little like Greg Popovich in him, kind of a little bit. Some of his
Well,
like responses and stuff. I was like, okay, don't want to go down that path.
hmm, really? Wow. He definitely has some interesting quotes. I'll know that for sure.
Maybe in some ways, no, I don't know. Maybe in some ways they're kind of content with their championship. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I guess we shall see. You know, another team that made a lot of headlines in the offseason were the Knicks. They got Mikal Bridges, and then recently they just got Carl Anthony Towns. They did have to give up Randall and Dante DiVincenzo and some picks. Let's see what else. Oh, they re-signed OG Anunoby. I was like, wow, how did they get all that money for him? And then Precious, I don't even. I'm
Achua.
Cal
What
is
would you do without me, Ashley? What would
Cal
you
is the
do?
man for pronunciations.
Although I must admit, I don't think I was able to successfully say the name of the Bucks center that they had in the preseason, the big, tall European guy.
Oh, I just say
Uh,
AP.
AP something. I couldn't say his name. So there are a few that are beyond my capability to say it, but I can handle about 85% of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of shot forms, you mentioned earlier that somebody had changed their shot form. Have you seen what McCall Bridges has done to his shot?
Why did he change it? He didn't need to change it.
Do you see how like weird it looks now? What are they thinking? What is like why would you do that?
I have no idea. He was such a great shooter, especially
It
from the
looks
corner.
horrible. It looks like me trying to shoot like when I first learned how to play or something and I just kind of flung it over my head. Flung the ball over my head. It's
Yes,
like
like a hitch to it.
it just looks very weird. I don't know like if he's going to continue with that form, if he's going to try to go back to the old form, and if you continue to like change it and like alternate and mess with it, that's probably not going to be a good thing. Like in order to have success, you have to have repetition with the same form. So I don't know, but it does make me happy if that form is like a disaster all year because then I get to listen to Stephen A. Smith cry about it, and that'll be funny. I'll enjoy that a lot.
Oh man, oh man. They have a lot of high hopes. Jalen Brunson took, a pay cut. The Liberty just won, so they probably, Spike Lee is
The
so
problem
excited.
with the Knicks also that I've noticed is I think Hartenstein is going to be a really big loss for them at center.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
they they did trade, so they lost Hartenstein. They traded Julius Randle, as you alluded to. Um,
they have Mitchell
they're-
Robinson. Is he?
he's hurt until January though. I just don't. And then Carl Anthony Towns now. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him.
He's not really a rim protector.
He's not. He's not. There's just something kind of missing with him. He's talented. He's a great shooter, but he's kind of soft. He's not great on defense. There's just something kind of missing a little bit with him. And I'm worried that in the New York media they're gonna like attack him, and he's not gonna be able to handle it very well. And wasn't he like? Didn't he have like issues with Tom Thibodeau earlier in his career when they were together in Minnesota? Like, wasn't that like a weird thing with like Jimmy Butler, Thibodeau, and Towns? Like, did those two like actually have a good like relationship or what? I don't really know about that. Like something seems a little weird or off there. Like so I don't know.
I
I think the Knicks are maybe getting a bit overrated at this point. Like right now,
traded for him. I
like
hope.
they haven't the Knicks didn't prove anything. They haven't won anything. They haven't done anything yet. I don't know why everybody says that they're oh my god, they're the favorite. Oh my god, like again with the Celtics stuff, nobody can compete with them. It's like what are you talking about? Like let's give like these other teams a chance before we like say these things.
I
And another thing
believe
about that the Knicks nonsense is I can't stand that Kendrick Perkins always calls Jalen Brunson the best player in the Eastern Conference. It's like way to totally disrespect Giannis, way to totally disrespect Joel Embiid when he's healthy. Jalen Brunson's a really nice player. He's good. He's great. Like, don't get me wrong, but he would be like my third or fourth best player in the East, maybe. Like he's up there for sure, but I don't know. Just a lot of bias always in the media with the Celtics and Knicks. It's hard to listen to.
Yeah, it's to be expected because with Boston, that's a big market and their history is big, and the
Yeah,
Knicks, everyone wants the Knicks. They say
and I get it. And
Chicago, and you
the
know,
Knicks haven't really been. I mean, last year was their first season that they were really good in a very long time. So I mean, they haven't been relevant, and the NBA wants them to be relevant. And yeah, I get all that.
yeah.
And I think Devin, I just that trade really confused me or surprised me, how they made that trade so late in the offseason and trading away DiVincenzo when he was such a great fit there last year. I mean, he was a fan favorite. He loved New York. It looked like he had found a true home, a long term home in New York. I don't understand what they traded him right before the season. That just kind of came out of nowhere. Like what? That's very weird. I don't know
Some
what to make of that.
said, someone said maybe he wanted a bigger role and his role was going to be diminished, and now he has a problem with Thibs and stuff like that. I don't
But
know
I
if
think
it's true or
he's but
not.
I think he's coming off the bench in Minnesota now anyways, so wouldn't he have been coming off the bench either way, probably? Like
I don't know.
uh,
Maybe it's minutes. I don't know. And I
hard
thought
to
the
say, I
Nova
guess.
boys, I thought the
I
Nova
thought
boys in the hoop.
I thought well that's what confused me too, because that was like a big thing that they were all reconnecting and getting like the whole college crew together and stuff, and then they up and changed it at the last minute. That I don't know. They don't really. Who are their guards? The Knicks. I know they have Hart. I know they have Brunson, and
They
then
had
they kind of.
McBride.
Oh yeah, McBride. They're kind of relying on him to take a big step, though. I don't know if he'll. Maybe he can do it. If he can, then
Oh,
they'll be good.
Cameron Payne. But I
Oh,
heard he got arrested recently.
oh gosh. I didn't hear that.
Hey, they got Tyler Kolek from Marquette. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. He might be good in the future, but no, he's probably not ready for anything too much now, as
Yeah,
most people aren't as rookies.
that's true.
So I don't know. I don't know what to totally make of the Knicks. I mean, they got destroyed in their first game. I know it's just one game, but it wasn't like a very good look.
Oh man.
They've been overrated for a little bit. They need to prove something here.
Josh Hart was like they need to be drug tested.
Oh yeah, I
That was
saw on
funny.
him that was funny. And then of course the concern with the Knicks is always Thibodeau and his rotations and how he plays guys like the whole game, and like he's gonna wear people down, and is that going to work at the end of the season? Like you can't just play a rotation of 6 or 7 players for the whole regular season, 82 games, and then think that it's gonna work in the playoffs. Like I don't know.
You
It's
gotta trust your bench.
I don't know. That's just how he's always been, though. And then he squeezes out every juice, every ounce of juice he gets for the regular season, but then that's where it just kind of ends.
Mikal Bridges hasn't missed a game. I don't know if that's gonna continue.
True.
If
That
you
is
over,
truly that's truly an amazing stat, like an amazing record
yeah,
for today's NBA to be able to say you've played like what is it, 6 or 7 years now for him or something that is like his is probably going into like his 7th year maybe or 6th year, and he hasn't missed a game. That's really insane. That's wild. But yeah, Thibodeau is going to try to test that. Thibodeau is going to test that as much as he can. Like Josh Hart was literally playing 48-minute games in the playoffs last year. I don't know if you know that or not, but it was like
he
it was just insane.
anything.
It was insane
Then he did he get injured? I
in the
feel like
playoffs.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Or was it like Jalen Brunson? When Jalen Brunson got injured, it really didn't matter because their season was over. He had like hurt his hand.
Yeah, Oh, I thought it was his knee. I don't totally remember. I know the Knicks had some guys out in that series against the Pacers.
Yeah, OG.
OG, that was it. He had his hamstring. OG and Anobi had the hamstring injury, and then Randall was out for the whole series because he got hurt earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll say the Knicks will probably. I mean, they'll be up there for sure. I'm sure in the regular season, but we'll see. They'll be a top four seed, no doubt. So, because Brunson is a great player, so I don't want it to seem like I don't think they can be good. Obviously, I know they'll be good, but just how good is good? We'll see.
Another big team that made a splash are the 76ers. They got Paul George, and as we saw yesterday, Paul George and Joel Embiid didn't play yesterday, and Joel Embiid might get into some shape.
Scared of Giannis.
Oh, scared of Giannis.
Cough,
That's
cough.
funny.
Come
Oh, yeah. They
on,
do
Joel.
have,
You're always missing these big star matchups. You always miss matchups with Jokic. You always miss matchups with Giannis. Enough. Enough of this hiding.
he might get in trouble because he said out loud that he may not play back-to-backs for the rest of his career. And, Charles and Shaq and KG, they're all mad at him for saying that. They're like, you're supposed to be a leader, and how can you predict the future? And I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen. I don't know.
I mean, I suppose, it makes sense for him, I guess, to say that, I suppose, because for him, you disagree?
I I I think you can do that, but don't say it out loud. Him saying it
Yeah,
out
maybe.
loud was bad. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying, he's won the MVP now. He's had how many years of, being an all-star. He's had all that. So now for him, it's just about the playoffs and being able to finally make it past the second round. And so I understand why you wouldn't push yourself in the regular season. But yeah, maybe saying it out loud wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, I get it. He's been injured a lot of
Well,
wear and tear.
if he sits out every back to back, he won't have a chance to win MVP because he won't be eligible because he won't play enough games.
That's true. I don't even know. I don't even think there should be back to backs because I do think like your body gets like it increases the chances of your body getting hurt. But I just think saying it out loud was bad, and it kind of shows like his competitiveness is not good. So probably out loud was not good. But so they re-signed Kyle Lowry, KJ Martin, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre. I do like their depths. I do like
Yeah,
their
they
depth.
do. They do have
They
good depth.
signed,
Caleb Martin,
yep, Eric
Drummond.
Gordon, yeah, Drummond, Reggie Jackson, and GY.
Oh, Yabusele,
Yes, he showed out in the
Gershon,
Olympics.
Gershon Yabusele.
GY. France. So, do you think they're going to make it out of the second round or low expectations first round?
You mentioned Paul George, right? Of course.
Oh yeah, Paul George, of
You
course.
can't
That's
forget him.
the big free agent.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, just like for everyone, for every team in the East, and especially with them, it's all health. It's just 100% health dependent.
yep, pretty big. I do.
If they're if they're healthy, they can have a decent chance. If they're not, then well, I mean, their depth is pretty decent, so I'll say that. So maybe it isn't totally 100% on dependent on health. I mean, it's pretty strongly dependent, but if you have a good bench and you have good pieces, which it seems they do, and that they've added, then I don't know. Perhaps they they could be in a position to make some noise in the playoffs. We'll see. And they have another Bucks killer, Kyle Lowry, of course, who
Oh
it
boy.
seems like if 5 people guard him, he can just make like any shot, like anywhere on the court, no matter like who's guarding him or anything.
I call him Kyle Lowry, Big Booty Lowry.
That's funny.
That's why he can take all those charges.
He's the eternal spring, the eternal fountain of youth as well, it seems. Because I
Yeah.
remember him in 2019 killing us in the Eastern Conference Finals on the Raptors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, not this again. Like he just makes like the craziest shots against the Bucks. Like with like there's like great defense and there's 2 or 3 people on him and he's like trapped in the corner and you think there's like no way like he's gonna be able to do anything and then somehow he like makes a 3 and it's just like
Everybody does. For some reason, everyone does.
it's crazy. I mean, respect to him, but yeah, the charges he takes can be kind of annoying sometimes though. That's a little annoying.
Yeah. What can you do? It's part of the game. Defense. What?
For the most part, I think they're legit charges for the most part, but he can flop a little bit sometimes too.
Yeah, for sure. Not like Marcus Smart though.
Nobody's as bad as that. Not even fish in the, not even walleye in the Canadian water are as bad as that.
So let's talk about our favorite team, the Bucks. Bucks. Boom. Our we got
Right.
Torian Prince. Our big acquisition was Gary Trent, who is our starting shooting guard. We got Dylan Wright. We got some good draft picks that have potential in AJ Johnson and Tyler Smith. Oh, did you see we replaced AP with Robbins? That's cool on for the
Yeah,
two.
I did
That
see that. That's a nice move. We'll see.
yeah. Giannis, he was taking yoga or Pilates. That's pretty cool. Dame says he's in the best shape that he's ever been. And he was working out like crazy. Now he's in shape. We beat the 76ers yesterday. How did you think we looked? And, how far do you think we're going to go? This is Doc Rivers' first full year, so um we still have Bobby Portis for six man of the year. Give it to him. He deserved it last year. And we got Brooke manning the paint. Pat was looking good. Dame, I think he's on a mission because people must have forgot about him. Chris Middleton is still on the mend. You were really upset about that yesterday. And so, how do Giannis, you know, I feel like we have to be healthy. If we're healthy in the playoffs, I don't think anyone's going to beat us. No one. No one. No one. No one. No one. No one. But,
Yeah, I mean, I loved what I saw from our role players and the guys that we signed. I've felt great about them. Didn't I don't know if you mentioned Torian Prince. I think you probably
yeah.
did, but oh, he looked amazing. I mean, he played outstanding yesterday. He did more in that one game than Jay Crowder did for us in like 2 years. So I mean, he looked great playing off of Giannis. Delon Wright looked great off the bench with his defense, with his activity, with what he can bring, his up tempo-ness and just his intensity was good. I love the game that Trent had where he just kind of knew his role, find his spots. Don't have to take a bunch of shots. You're on a team with Giannis, Dame, and Chris Middleton. Like just fill your role, take your shots when they're there, when they come, and you don't have to force anything. Giannis will find you, Dame will find you. You'll get your open looks, you'll get your good shots, and for a good shooter, that's a match made in heaven. So I think we've seen this now for several years now, where the Bucks bring in like a shooting guard. Like for first it was Bryn Forbes, then it was kind of
Grayson
then it was
Allen,
Grayson Allen, then it was Malik
Malik
Beasley,
Beasley.
and these guys, just these shooters, can get these open shots playing with Giannis, and it's just like nothing they've ever played before. Probably for all these people, they come in and they've never had this type of open space. They've never had this type of these types of uncontested looks that you get playing on a team like with Giannis, Chris, and Dame. So I think that'll work out really well for us. Will work out great. I liked seeing Trent's activity on defense. I definitely think he'll be a better defender than Beasley. I mean, the bar is incredibly low. I mean, you could go to a local senior citizen home and probably find a few people who could offer more on defense
Wow.
than Beasley for us. So the bar wasn't too high to surpass there, but I'm glad I don't have to watch that anymore. I'll just say that.
He ranked like 7 in steals, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Dame talked about it. Dame talked about it after the game yesterday, but he talked about when he played together with Gary Trent in Portland, how they would match him up on LeBron in certain games and in the playoff series that they had. And he said, not that anyone's going to stop LeBron, because he's LeBron, obviously, but the fact that he drew that assignment tells you something good about him, tells you something good about what the team thinks about his defensive ability. Is just the fact that they would even consider putting him on LeBron tells you a lot. And yeah, just that like connection that I believe they played together for 3 seasons, I believe, Dame and Gary Trent. So, I mean, that having that backcourt familiarity on offense and on defense is really good, that those two are kind of reunited in that sense. So that's really good for us. I'm very hopeful for that. I liked those signings a lot when they happened, and so far in the preseason and early on here, I've just liked them even more. So hopefully they'll all be upgrades over what we had. If DeLon Wright should be an upgrade over Beverly, that'll help a lot. If Taurean Prince can be an upgrade over Crowder, which I would almost think it would be impossible not to be, that will help us a lot. And then if Trent Jr. can be an upgrade over Beasley, which again would be almost impossible, then I think it'll all work out well for us. Once again, when we get to playoff time, 100% about health, nothing else. Like you said, if the Bucks are healthy, and our ceiling is unlimited and we can do anything. But if we're not healthy, then it changes the game entirely. So we know what it's all about now. After the last few years, we know there's no secrets. There's no secrets. You have to be healthy at playoff time, or your chances are zero. So that's all it's going to come down to.
Yeah, it seems like they want to play faster, and they have better ball movement. That's good.
And Bobby Portis does deserve a 6-man. You are right about that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was very surprised.
I think Pat sometimes gets some unfair hatred or dislike from Bucks fans. Not enough credit that he's had a lot of good playoff moments for the Bucks. He's performed in the playoffs. He's a big reason why the Bucks have a championship, honestly. When we lost Dante and Pat had to start for us, and he was great in that whole playoff run in 2021. He hit one of the clutchest shots in Bucks history, I would say, in Game 4 of the finals when we were down by 1 with like 3 minutes left. Giannis is on the fast break, and he finds Pat in the corner for a 3. And I think people just kind of forget about him, or like undervalue him, that he has a lot of good playoff moments. He's performed pretty well in the playoffs. he'll go through some regular season slumps and maybe not look so good against the Magic in January or something. But at the end of the day, I trust him like in the playoff rotation. And I think he earned that in 2021. And he has some pretty good chemistry with Giannis and a lot of the guys. So I'm not as down on him as some people get, but we'll see. Not that I know he's not the perfect player. I know he can go through slumps, but he's also had a lot of good moments. I think he's a pretty clutch player also. So hopefully he can have a bounce back season and do well for us. Cause like you said, he's been looking better. He's been looking good. So, and then, I'd like to kind of be a little bit more conservative than we've been with Brook the past few years. Like I'd like to give him some more load management, give him some rest. And to me, it wasn't a great sign that in game one of the season with no Embiid, we had to play him 36 minutes yesterday. That's not exactly ideal. Like it's early in the season and Embiid isn't even playing and you already have to play Brook that many minutes. Like that can't be a thing going forward because just looking at the schedule, I mean, in the next 4 days, the Bucks have 3 games. You can't play Brook 35 minutes in all those games. It's not going to work. So we do have to be a little more aware of that kind of stuff, and we have to be careful with it. I know
Yeah.
you and I talked about Brook and a little bit, and obviously I love Brook. He's a great fit for us. He's awesome. Like, I love him. Great defender, underrated. Doesn't get the respect he deserves, honestly. What he can do on the defensive end is amazing. Deserves more attention. Deserves more credit. Deserves to be talked about more. Obviously, the floor spacing with Giannis is amazing. He's the perfect fit, but unfortunately, it won't last forever. So pretty
Yeah.
soon we're going to have to start having some real thoughts about how to replace him and what to do moving forward and all of that, which it's just part of the game. Nobody lasts forever unless you're LeBron, I guess, or maybe Al Horford. But
I've wanted us to, get guys they can mentor to eventually be replacements, but their front office doesn't listen to me. John Horst,
and I mean,
you
I will say we did draft Tyler Smith, and I think Horst said he views him as potentially a future center, but I don't know if you've seen that or you saw that, but that's what John Horst said about Tyler Smith, and I don't know. I mean, right now that's not true because he
kind
doesn't
of hard
have
to
the
predict.
right now that's not true because he doesn't have the size or the strength, but it's also important to remember that he's 19 years old, and guys at 19 versus what you look like at 24 or 25 is completely different, like we've also talked about. So there's no telling what his body could look like in a few years. So it's possible he could maybe be a center in the future, especially in today's NBA where it's a little different. And, he's out on the perimeter more and everything. But, we'll see. So I don't know if I'd say we have nothing per se, but it's still something we need to look into as finding more options. Who knows? Maybe this Liam Robbins guy can catch on a little bit.
Oh,
He's
I like him.
he's kind of I think he's 25 years old, I believe. So I mean, he's kind of in that range where he's just entering like his prime. Maybe if he can show something, who knows? Like we're due to like we got to find somebody eventually. Like you would think with some breakout kind of ability. I don't know if that can be him or not. We'll see. But we do have to just my overall point is we have to be mindful of it and we have to start thinking more than what we've done. And you would agree with that for sure.
Yeah. For sure. They should have been did it when he had that back surgery. It
That's when I thought that we were going to like do that. And then our answer was just trading for like an old Serge Ibaka. And then I was like, huh? Like that's just like a band-aid. That's like taking off a band-aid on your arm and then replacing it with another band-aid. It doesn't really do anything or change anything. You're just trading out one old band-aid for another.
That's true. That's true. So let's stick to the Central Division. Let's talk about the Pacers. They
Oh
beat
boy.
us.
Oh no, Ashley, why you gotta make me talk about them?
They beat us in the first round. They beat us in the play-in. They were, they were
Stole
like,
Giannis's game ball.
yeah, that was a lot of drama. That game
Because of
ball, that was a lot
because
of
of
drama.
Oscar Tshiebwe and his first career point. Whoopie doodle ding dong.
Is he
The only
still?
ones who cared about that was his family. No offense.
So they re-signed James Johnson. Oh,
Did you hear about James Wiseman?
what happened
Did you
to
hear
him?
about his injury?
No, what happened?
He tore his Achilles.
Really?
Yes, in yesterday's game.
Oh, wow, that is crazy.
It's really weird because he's super young. He's like 21. Like that's a really young age to like do something like that. And
That's crazy.
it happened on a jump shot. He shot a three-pointer and then he went to like run backwards on defense kind of like after he shot it. Like he shot the three from the top of the key and then he went to like jog back on defense and when he pushed off like something must have popped or something on his Achilles and then he like looked back and was looking around like wondering like who stepped on his foot or like what had happened but nobody was there because nobody stepped on his foot. It just gave out on him. So that
Wow.
was that was a kind of like one of their bigger signings and now he's most likely out for I don't know if it's a full tear or like a rupture or something, but in any case, I'm sure he'll probably be out for most of the season, if not the whole season.
Yeah, that's a blow because they let Jalen Smith go.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, they re-signed Obi Toppin and Siakam. That's good. And Numhard.
Nemhard,
Yeah,
Andrew Nemhard.
yeah. So, do you?
I think I think the Pacers will be about where they were last year. I don't think they'll take a step backwards, but I don't think they'll take a step forwards, if that makes sense. I think they'll just kind of stay like right where they're at. Didn't they also lose Buddy Hield?
Oh yeah, yeah. To
Buddy
the
Hield went to the
Warriors.
Warriors. They have Halliburton, they have Miles Turner, Siakam, obviously, Nemhard, the other guys you mentioned, and of course, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention another Bucks killer, T.J. McConnell. Of
Oh
course,
yeah,
I can't forget about him. You know, there's certain guys that haunt my nightmares. He's one of them.
yeah.
It's like it's where you go to bed and you just put your head on the nice soft pillow and you think life is good and you think everything's happy and then you just kind of close your eyes and after a few seconds you see like TJ McConnell like just kind of running circles around your mind and then you have to wake up again and you're like sweating like all over the place and you're just like, oh, make it stop.
Running circles into a
The
jump shot.
they just seem to, well, with Halliburton too, the Pacers and their speed, they just kind of run circles on the Bucks a lot, and
Yeah, yeah.
they're fast. Their transition and their youth, and that gives us trouble.
Gotta get back in transition.
But it does help that we got younger this off season. We From Patrick Beverly to Wright, we got younger. From Jay Crowder to Prince, we got younger. From Malik Beasley to Gary Trent Jr., we got younger. It's not by like a ton, but even just 3 to 4 years in the NBA makes a big difference. Like that makes a big difference age-wise. So we did get younger. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll be a better matchup this year with them because of that.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna see, if
And Miles Turner is an interesting case too because he's kind of I feel like he's never really been like super consistent per se, but like when he has really good stretches, he's really, really good. But then he kind of has stretches where he sort of disappears a little bit and then he'll kind of reappear and then he'll disappear again. Like if he's kind of like a big X factor for them. When he's really good and he can be more consistent, they're a better team. But then sometimes he kind of like disappears for a while, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, true.
I did like the Siakam trade for them at the end of last year. I think that was a good move. That helps them a lot. He seems to be a pretty good fit there. So that move was really good by them. So I think they'll just kind of be the same as where they kind of were last year.
Yeah, because they didn't really make a serious big move that'll get them over the hump.
And then you got Halliburton, who always runs his mouth about everything. And
Yeah,
Bobby Portis called them a front runners.
they got to get better from within, but yeah, they kind of are a young team that talked a lot but without accomplishing a lot. But
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
yeah.
Um, let's go to another Central Division team, the Cavs. They did switch up. They did, fire JB Bickerstaff, but yeah, Bickerstaff went to the Pistons. Did you see what happened yesterday? The Pistons, they had 6 players on the court. I was like, oh boy, Pistons.
Oh, I think I might have seen that. Yeah.
Not a good way to,
Yeah. Classic Pistons, I guess.
not a good way to start the season. But now they got Kenny Atkinson, and they did re-sign, Allen, Mitchell, Mobley, their core. Let's see. How far do you think they're going to go? I don't know how good. I just didn't see any improvement for the like 3. I feel like they need a great small forward. I know they got Isaac Okoro, but I thought they should maybe move him
Yeah.
to the bench maybe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I probably would say that I see the Cavs kind of similar as the Pacers. Like I don't think they'll take a step backwards, but I don't really think they'll take a step forwards. I think they'll just kind of stay where they were as like kind of like a 4th or 5th seed type team. They're good, but I don't know if they're not in the upper echelon of Celtics, Bucks, or Sixers or Knicks.
Yeah. How can you get I think that is probably like really hard to do in the NBA. Like how do you go from like pretender to a contender?
Or just from being good to great. Like how do you become
Yeah.
good to great? How do you go from being a 5th seed to a 2 seed? How do you go from being a 4 seed to a 1 seed? It doesn't really happen very often.
And sometimes people kind of are stuck. But we'll see.
The only time it happens is if you're like the 2009 Heat and you have Wade and Bosh and you're like a 5th seed and then you sign LeBron and then you become a 1 seed. That's like that's like the formula for it to happen. Free agent signings.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because back then the Heat had, or
Yeah,
oh, they
they
signed.
had Bosch.
I
Well, they got
misspoke.
Bosch and
I misspoke. They
LeBron.
signed Bosh
Yeah.
and LeBron at the same time. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Before that, they only had Wade. That's
Yeah.
right. Bosh and LeBron signed at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that back that far, Ashley. Give me a break. Give me a break. I messed up on that one.
Hey,
That's
I
okay.
don't have
Kyle's
that
not
great.
perfect.
I don't have a great memory either.
So my point is that it's usually only through like a major free agent signing that you go from like a fourth seed to a one seed or a fifth seed to a two seed. Or in some cases, it can happen if you just have a really young team. Like if your main core is like all three guys are like 21 or something,
OKC.
then you can move up. It kind of it's usually just related to age or free agent signings, but the Cavs they'll be good, but I think they'll just kind of stay where they are.
Yeah. Do you believe in magic?
I should have known you were going to break out that line.
That's a good one. They did sign KCP. You know, that's a good veteran for them to get. They re-signed a lot of their core. I don't know how to pronounce this. Guga.
Oh, Goga Batazzi?
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Goga
Jonathan
Batazzi.
Isaac. The Wagner brothers. Harris.
Wagner.
Yeah.
It's pronounced more with like a V, like Wagner, because it's German.
Wagner. Oh, okay. Yeah. See? What would I do without you?
I'm the glue that holds everything together, Ashley.
Yes, you are. Let me think. Tristan da Silva. That's their 18th draft pick.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know too much about him, but yeah, that's how you say his name, I'm pretty sure.
I got something. So, do you think they're gonna take? Do you think they're gonna take a leap with a lot of their young talent? They got Bankero.
I think they'll take a leap, but it'll be like a small mini leap, kind of. Like, because they were like what, like a seventh or eighth seed last year? What were they? Do you know?
They matched up against the Cavs, right?
Yes.
Was it a 4-5
It might
matchup?
have been.
I feel
It
like
might
it's
have
a
been.
4-5 matchup.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I just they're on the outside looking in with the Bucks and Sixers and Knicks and Celtics. So I don't know. I mean, they could be like a fifth or sixth seed, but that's probably as high as I see them being.
It's all going to depend on how their young
Everything.
talent improves. So,
Yeah, I mean, I believe in Banchero. I believe he's a really good player. I mean, they just have to keep kind of waiting and trusting the process, and their time will come. And not everything can be rushed. Like it's a process.
you
You
got
want to
that
take
right.
you want to take little steps each year to eventually get to where you want to be.
Got that right.
And Banchero's, I think, only going into his third or fourth year. So I mean, he's still really young. I mean, he's got a very long, bright future ahead. So they got some good pieces, and I saw they re-signed Suggs, or they had signed him to a contract extension recently.
Oh, yeah. They're doing
Jalen
a lot of that.
Suggs. Um, their center, Wendell Carter Jr., he kind of has some injury issues a little bit sometimes, so I'm not too sure that would maybe be an area of concern I would have for them. Maybe like their bench or their depth. I don't really know what they have there. KCP was a solid signing. I was kind of surprised that he signed there, though. I thought he would kind of sign with like a more ready to win veteran team, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the Magic are still like 2 to 3 years away from really strongly contending. So it was kind of odd that he signed there, I thought, because it's like in 2 or 3 years, by the time the Magic are really ready to do something, he will probably be too old at that point to do much with them. So I don't know, but he can provide some good veteran pointers and good experience for them. So
That's true. That's true.
who else do we have left in the East? Have we talked about the Heat? Is that where you're going next?
Ding, 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 ding. You
Look
got
at
it.
how our mind. Look at how our minds are connected, Ashley. You know, you and
Florida.
I are like we're like Chris and Giannis when it comes to throwing alley oops. We're connected.
Oh, yeah. Woo, woo, woo. They re-signed Bam, Kevin Love, Haywood, Highsmith. I think he was a Marquette person, yeah. Thomas Bryant. They now have Alec Burks from free agency. And of course, they have a lot of. Oh, they have Ware for the 15th pick. Is it Kelly? No,
Uh, Khalil, I think. Or
Khalil.
no. Sorry, it's like Kel Aware.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But they did lose Caleb Martin to the
yeah, that was a tough loss.
76ers. And Jamal came to the Pelicans. I don't know because it's like Jimmy Butler sometimes is injured. I just don't know where they're going. I wish we could have Spo. How about the Heat trade us Spo? And you guys can have Doc Rivers. That would
Huh.
be just excellent. That would be an excellent
Yeah, it
trade.
would be.
I I just I just see them getting left behind, you know. If they didn't have Bam, I would be very, very concerned. He's like their defensive anchor. He needs more love for defensive player of the year, I feel. But I like how they can get something out of people that we don't know about.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I
they're they're good at finding the hidden diamonds in the mine.
yes. Yes, Pat Riley, Heat culture.
Just picture like Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley like in some like dark like some dark cave or some dark mine, and they've got like the little like shiny goggles on, and they got like a flashlight, and they're looking in the depths of the darkness, and they're
They're in the
trying to
lab.
unearth the diamonds and unearth the gems. That's what they're good at.
That's true. That's true. I just yeah.
Wish we could take a page out of that book.
The Bucks. I really wish we could.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, I don't know. He's getting a little old now, a little bit. I think they kind of missed their chance.
Yeah.
You see, he only had like 2 points in their opening game.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was
And
a
Bam didn't play that
surprise.
well either.
Yeah, they really struggled. I forgot who they lost to. I think it was the Magic. I think it was the Magic
Yeah.
who, and they had just crushed them. That
Yeah.
was a surprise. Yeah, I don't know about the Heat. I mean, and then you got Tyler Hero, who's had some injury concerns. He hasn't really totally been healthy. Uh, Terry Rozier, he's like a solid player, but I don't know if he's the starter to lead you into anything too big. He's solid, but I don't know. They just seem to be missing a little something. Bam is good, but I don't know if he's really taken the next step really totally. He's not always the most consistent. Their bench is maybe lacking a bit.
Mm.
Uh, a lot of it will depend on the development of some of their younger guys, like Jaime Jaquez Jr., who had a good rookie season for them last year. And then you got what's his name, like Nikola Jovic. It's the guy whose name
Oh
is like
yeah.
Jokic. It's like Jokic, but it's one letter different.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of Jokic, it's Jovic.
Jovic. He had a good game against the Bucks last year, I remember.
Yeah.
Where he made a bunch of threes on us, but they'll probably be like a play-in team if I had to guess.
Yeah, and you don't want to play them.
but then they could always get hot and sneak into the playoffs. And once they get in, who knows
What they did to us.
what they're capable of.
But yeah, next are the Raptors. The Raptors, I feel like they're gonna grow within with Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quigley. I don't see them being a good team, but it's all about growing with the young guys to me.
The process,
Yeah,
they're in the rebuild. They're in the growth process, and they got a good start on it. I like Scotty Barnes. I like some of their good young pieces. They got some good stuff to work with, but yeah, just have to be patient because it's gonna take a while.
they have Davion Mitchell through a trade. That's cool.
Oh, I didn't realize they picked him up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And
Jacoby Walter.
RJ Barrett as well. We'll see how he does there.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's in Canada. That's pretty cool. So let's go to our borderline rivals, the Bulls.
Oh, jeez.
Congratulations to Lonzo, who hasn't played in like 1,000 and something days. Congrats to him. But I don't like the Bulls. We play the Bulls tomorrow. That's pretty cool. Uh, they got Josh Giddey through a trade, right? Oh, they also lost DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. I forgot about that. They re-signed Patrick Williams. They got Chris Duarte. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Good job. That was right on the money.
Yeah. They got Jalen Smith and their 11th pick, Mataz.
Bucelis.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I'm right on the money there.
I know they still got Kobe White. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, they still got Billy Donovan, but I just don't see them going anywhere. And there's a
Zach
picture.
LaVine, of course.
Yeah, there's a picture of Zach LaVine and Vucevic, I believe, and they're looking sad. Like, we're still here. DeMar DeRozan got out, but we're still here. They looked sad. It was on media day.
Oh yeah.
The Bulls,
I haven't understood the direction of the Bulls for like 6 years because they kept talking about trading DeRozan, they kept talking about trading Levine and doing all this stuff, and then they never did it. And like I don't know what they are now. Are they fully rebuild? Are they trying to sneak in and be a playing team or a playoff team, or like what are they exactly?
they're trying to be they're trying to be good enough to make the playoffs. They don't want to do a full rebuild, which is crazy. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to have a couple years of high draft picks and rebuilding, and they don't want to do it. So
Yeah.
until then, they're just going to win 30 games a year and just kind of walk in mud. If your car gets stuck in mud, Ashley, it doesn't move. It just stays there. You try to rev up the tires and you rev up the engine, and the tires are spinning and it looks like you're moving, or it looks like you should be going somewhere, but you actually aren't. And the only thing that's moving is like the sputters of mud that just kind of sputter everywhere, and you just stay in one spot. That's we have the same, like, I feel like I use the same analogy with them for the last like 5 years when we do these prediction shows.
It's just sad, sad, sad.
But
Michael,
those rotten Bulls people, those rotten Bulls fans deserve it. So nothing kind of makes me happier. How
they've
those
had
people
their
act.
run.
I'm convinced that the Chicago Bulls could be 0-70 and come into Milwaukee to play the Bucks, and they would still treat us like crap. They would still act like they're the greatest like team on earth, and like those people are just ridiculous. They're
They
like
haven't won
animals.
They haven't won anything since, Jordan, and they think they're the best ever. They think they're the Celtics with 18 championships. Like,
They had
no.
an amazing dynasty, probably the best dynasty of all time. They had Michael Jordan, arguably the best player ever. So yeah, like that's all cool. Like don't get me wrong, I actually kind of like that the 90s Bulls only out of like nostalgia and like appreciation for basketball and for the game and everything cuz I'm a basketball historian, I'm a basketball fan first and foremost. I love basketball, so I love that time. I love the intro that they used to have with like the when they would introduce the starting lineups with Pippen, Jordan, and like Rodman, and they would do the Chicago Bulls, and they go do 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 do. Like that was really cool. Awesome, but no, from in the 2000s, besides their small stretch with Derrick Rose, they really haven't been relevant.
Just not relevant. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I've heard some crazy things said from those people, and I'm sure you have too
Oh,
throughout
boy.
the years. It's like if you go to a Bucks Bulls game, like you might as well just like wear like metal armor or something to the game, like because it's like a death fight. It's scary.
Ooh. And especially in the playoffs, oh boy.
In the preseason, didn't you tell me that a Bulls fan told you like at halftime or something that they're on top, and then you said, "What are you on top of? Top of the
Lottery.
lottery?"
I just said lottery team, lottery team. They couldn't
They're
say
on
nothing
they're on
back.
top, all right. They're on top of the lottery, and actually, they probably won't be on that either because they don't know how to tank right. So,
Exactly. Like you could have had Webby, but no, we just wanna, be in the middle.
oh, thank God they don't have Wembanyama. Could you imagine that?
That would have been crazy, wouldn't
Don't
it?
make me don't make me picture that. And then all the Chicago Bulls fans in the stadium going crazy for Wemby. That would be
Yeah,
awful.
yeah, that would have been awful.
Now you probably just gave me a new like weird nightmare that I'm gonna have tonight.
Well, tell me all about it.
I will.
So, Central Division Pistons, another team that you kind of don't know what's going to happen. They got to grow from within. Obviously, they got Cade Cunningham. Oh, new coach, JB Bickerstaff. They fired Monty Williams. Monty Williams is actually coaching his son now for like a high school team, I think. I don't know. I don't know. But
Oh,
they got
didn't they give him like the biggest coaching contract in history? And then they fired him.
after one season.
So he comes out. So what? They got to pay him for what? Like 8 or 9 more seasons, and he's not even there. So he came out the winner there.
Wow. I just don't know what's going to happen with them.
When they signed him, I almost fell out of my chair and like laughed for like 20 minutes when I saw that the Pistons had signed Monty Williams and the crazy contract that they gave him. I just thought that was the dumbest thing I had maybe ever seen.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
That
that.
made that made no sense whatsoever. You got a young team that was in a complete 100% rebuild, and you sign like a win now, like older coach that pretty much didn't want to be there. He was only there because you gave him an absolutely absurd amount of money. That was
I'm
just
sure.
weird.
It's weird. It's weird.
And
Pistons are
now
weird.
Malik Beasley is there, so I'm glad I don't have to watch him on the Bucks anymore. He can have fun in Detroit now. He can do his little like Beasley like wiggle thing in like
That
Detroit.
that was fun though. I like doing that.
The Beasley boogie.
Yeah, that was
It
fun.
was kind of fun. I admit there was, I mean, he's an amazing shooter. Don't get me wrong. He has a bad flaw, which is defense.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
His shooting was great. He's one of the Bucks' best shooters of all time. If you're talking about just strictly shooting,
nice. They got
but it was everything else that made him tough to watch for me.
they got
Cade Cunningham, he should try to get out of there. Oh man, I'm being rough with the people of Detroit here.
Ooh.
Oh, I really made you laugh there.
Oh man, that's funny. They did get this guy named Ron Highland. I think isn't he like a shooter?
Holland, Ron Holland.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he
fifth,
was like what, the 9th or 10th pick of last year's draft.
the fifth pick.
Oh, he was 5th pick.
Yeah,
Oh, higher than I thought.
they got Paul Reed, free agent. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. through a trade. They got
That
Tobias
doesn't make any
Harris.
sense why he's there.
Huh?
Oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. I said that doesn't make any sense why he's there.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about Holland, so we'll see. I can't really say too much about him. Yeah, hopefully they're in a growth process. Obviously, they're rebuilding. So all you're looking for is some guys to take some steps, and you're just looking for incremental progress is what you're looking for. You're looking for signs of life. It's kind of like when you drive by like what you think is a dead animal on the side of the road on the highway, and you kind of like you take like a stick or something and you kind of poke it to see if it'll move or if like there's any life left in it. So
Oh wow.
you're looking for a sign of life with the
These
Detroit Pistons.
analogies are something else.
See, where can you get this kind of content? Only on the IB Ballin show.
Great
This
analogy.
is
Great
the
metaphors.
this is the endorsement for everyone out there. You gotta subscribe to the pod. Oh, now I sound like Patrick Beverly now with the whole like subscribe to my pod. Are you subscribed to my pod? I couldn't believe all that nonsense from him last year.
That was funny. I was watching it too, but now I'm not watching it anymore. It's not on the show anymore. I mean, the team, so I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
um,
You're looking for Jaden. Is it Jalen Ivy? It's Jalen, not Jaden. Jalen
oh
Ivy.
no, it's Jaden.
Is it Jaden with a D or is it
Yeah,
Jalen with an L?
it's Jaden
Jaden.
Ivy. Yeah, it's Jaden Ivy. Yeah,
Are you sure? Oh
I'm
man.
positive. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure it's Ivy. It's Jaden. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. I'm gonna get the answer here in 1 second here.
Yep, it's Jaden.
It's Jaden with a D. You are right. It's with a D. It's Jaden. For some reason, I thought it could be Jalen with an L, but nope, Jaden. There's a lot of Jadens and Jalen's. It's hard to keep it all straight. There's the McDaniels brothers, Jalen McDaniels and Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Jalen Duran.
Oh, Jalen Duran, yeah.
Yeah, the big guy.
Connor.
And he's getting all those rebounds.
So that makes it even harder. You got two guys on the same team. One is Jaden, one is Jalen. It's a common name. These are common names, apparently.
Yeah. So it's all about how they grow their youth.
I like Duran. I like their center. They've got they've got some good pieces. They're just like the Raptors, and they're a ways away. They just gotta be patient. You gotta look for signs of life. See if the roadkill can move a little bit.
Correct. So, the Hawks.
Oh, the Hawks.
Trae Young. I'm cold.
Nice Trae. It's okay. Giannis can give you a hug and warm you up real fast.
Ooh, nice one. So they got Dyson Daniels through a trade, Larry Nance Jr. through a trade, Cody Zeller. Oh, the number 1 pick. I have no idea. Zachariah.
Ricochet.
There you go.
Ricochet, I believe is how you say it.
It's
tough to say.
I would not know. I would not know. They re-signed this guy named Vic. I'm just going to say Vit.
I'm not totally sure who you're talking about. So
He must not be some. Let me look him up.
they got Jalen Johnson from Wisconsin, who's pretty good.
Oh yeah, they
He's
did
from like
re-sign him.
he's from like Sussex area in
Yeah, he
Wisconsin.
he played for Duke for a little bit.
I think he could be a possible candidate to win Most Improved, possibly.
Really? Okay, okay. So
We'll get
I
into
know
those awards later.
they did lose to Murray. They lost Murray, but now Young can not really play off the ball, which he does need to
Yeah,
learn how to do.
the Murray Trey Young pairing just never worked.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't see them flying high.
They're
It
kind of like flying at like a medium height. They don't fly low to the ground and they don't fly high. They're just kind of like flying in the middle.
mm.
It's a confused hawk. It doesn't know how high it should fly.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Maybe
So
like one of its wings is like a little damaged and it's like a little off balance and it just can't fly, fully the way it should.
I don't know. Sorry, Hawks. We don't see you going anywhere. Do you see the Nets getting it into the net? Or another lottery team? Okay, they
Uh,
re-signed Nick Claxton. They got a new coach in Jordy. No.
Sorry, before we go too far into the Nets, going back to the Hawks, who have they if you have any notes or whatever, who did they pick up in the offseason? Did they add anyone?
Not anyone big. They lost a lot of people like Sadiq Bey, but they got Larry Nance Jr., David Roddy, Cody Zeller,
Hmm.
Dyson Daniels,
Okay.
Dominic Barlow.
Hmm. And then
Never heard.
obviously their draft pick of Rishache.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, just didn't mean to backtrack there. Just kind of wanted to ask that question.
nothing huge.
Yeah, the Hawks, they might be a play-in team, but that's probably, I feel like the last like 3 years of play-ins have always been like Hawks versus Heat. Hasn't that been like a thing?
Oh yeah.
It feels like that's a common play-in matchup. But as it relates to the Brooklyn Nets now, yeah, I don't know. They're probably a lottery team, I would say. They got
Yeah.
Cam Thomas, they got Cam Johnson, they got some young guys that have some good potential. They'll probably trade some people at the trade deadline, like Dorian Finney-Smith. Um,
They got Zaire Williams through a trade. That's
well,
cool.
that's a solid pickup. Um,
Shake Milton.
they've got this year's upcoming Rookie of the Year in Ben Simmons. Oh man, I had to throw in that joke. Ben Simmons has been in the lab this offseason, Ashley. Ben Simmons in the
And that
lab.
free off season.
But he makes his jump shots in the lab. Like, can you explain to me what happens like in the season starts and like there are real games? Like what takes place? What happens?
Not good.
That guy's a true he's an interesting case study, I'll say that. Is I don't know. I don't know what the heck is wrong with that guy or what. Then did you hear him talking about how like, oh, people forget like how good I am like when I'm healthy? It's like, yeah, because we never see you healthy. It's been like 5 years. So of course people are gonna forget.
Oh boy.
That's what the reporter should have said after he said that. Well, yeah, it's been 5 years or something. Like, of course we forget.
Oh man.
And when he does play, I really don't think he's that good anyways. So I don't
He
know what it
really
is. Like,
hasn't improved anything.
I mean, nevertheless, like a 3-point shot, can he make like a 15-foot shot ever? Like I don't know. He's a strange player. He's got a lot of interesting nicknames according to Basketball Reference, like the Wizard of Oz, I think is a nickname of his or something. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Like
What?
maybe that means he's like the Tin Man. He has no heart.
What in the world? Never heard of that. Wow.
One of his nicknames is the Wizard of Oz, and it must be because he plays like the Tin Man because he plays with no heart.
Wow.
And sometimes he plays with no courage either. So he's kind of like the Cowardly Lion also. He's sort of like a mix of he's a mix of Tin Man and Cowardly Lion.
Wow, brutal.
No heart and no courage.
You should say that on Facebook. That'd be funny.
My favorite, I like when Giannis scores on him and then he does like the too small gesture and kind of like,
Oh yeah.
like kind of pokes fun at him a little bit. That's funny. That's funny to me. Yeah, they're like a playing team, I would say, but they have a few good pieces, a few good young pieces.
So the last East team is the Wizards.
Oh God.
Harry Potter.
Wizards aren't real. Wizards aren't real.
Unless in Hogwarts.
Yeah, they got Malcolm Brogdon. Remember when Brogdon was on the Bucks and he said, "I want to go to a team that can win for a championship or can compete for a championship." And now look at where his career is, sitting in Washington. And I believe he's hurt also. He had like thumb surgery. And some people were joking around that he didn't really need that he just doesn't want to play for the Wizards. So he just pretended to have thumb surgery or something because he just doesn't want to play for them.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, but if you think about it, this just dawned on me. His nickname in Milwaukee was the President. So now he's playing in Washington.
Yeah.
How ironic is that? How fitting.
He said that he always wanted to play in a Wizards jersey.
Oh, that was a line of absolute bull. That was like serving up a plate full of crap. Not one person believed that, not even him. Yeah, I saw that. Like, I always dreamed about playing for this franchise. Come on, man. Come on. You got to lie better than that.
That was pretty bad, huh?
That was awful.
They got Jonas Valanciunas.
That doesn't make sense either. Why would he go there? That doesn't make sense.
It was through a trade.
Oh, was it through a trade?
Yeah. And
do you know what that trade? Do you know what that trade was?
Let me look it up. They got Alex Czar, who's the number 2 pick, and Sadiq Bey. That was a free agent.
Jonas Valanciunas should be on like a win now team as like a veteran player. That just doesn't make any sense at all.
Like, why would they do that? They did lose.
Marcus Johnson always calls him Choo Choo.
Okay, so here it is. The Pelicans required a 2027 second round pick from Washington, and in exchange for Valanciunas.
Oh, so it was just Valanciunas for a draft pick?
Yeah, that's all it was.
Weird. Didn't the Wizards trade Denny Avia too?
Yeah. They traded. No, he went to the, he went
or
to
was
the
it a free agent? Did he leave as a free agent?
Probably. Maybe they didn't want to pay him any money.
Foolish. You want to keep your young pieces.
Yeah.
They're just a team that's, when I described the Bulls, I said the Bulls were stuck in mud and the truck was stuck in the mud and it wasn't going anywhere. The Wizards are a team that's actually underneath the mud. They're actually like underneath the water. They're submerged. Like the Wizards have drowned it. They're drowned. They're underwater. And like you have to like fish them out. You have to fish them out from under the water because they're just that far buried.
Yeah.
They're buried under the mud. They're not just stuck in the mud. They're buried. They're firmly buried in mud. That's
I
what
wish I
describes
could
the
say
Wizards.
something positive. Wish I could say something positive. Oh, they had that
Corey Kispert's a pretty good player.
Corey. Oh yeah. They have
I would
him,
take
and
him
then
on the Bucks as like a shooter off the bench if we
they
could
have
get
the
him.
BC guy,
They have who?
the Belial Cobley.
Or Koulibaly?
There you go.
By Bilal Koulibaly? I know my stuff.
Yeah, you know your pronunciations.
Alex Sarr. No, I forgot about him too. Yeah, he could obviously be a great piece for them. So we'll see. He was what, the number 2 pick this year, I
Oh,
believe,
yeah,
right after Risha Shea. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not too familiar with him. I know he had a couple rough moments in summer league from what I saw. So we'll see what he can be.
Yeah, he's very
If you're the
athletic.
Wizards, once again, my roadkill analogy, you're looking for a sign of life. You think the rabbit on the side of the road is dead, so you just kind of move it, and you hope that it moves its leg, or that there's still something there, that there's some type of pulse, that there's something that can be revived. That's what you're looking for as a Wizards fan. You don't want the roadkill to take its last breath.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta at least get to where the Pacers are, you know, get to where the Cavs are,
Yeah.
Orlando Magic. That's your goal, guys. Lotto team, you know, that's the lottery team's hope,
We'll do like 6 man of the year first. Who do you say?
Well, for my NBA awards for 6 man, gotta say Bobby Portis. Gotta say
Okay.
Bobby Portis.
I wish Bobby would win it, but the NBA seems to hate the Bucks when it comes to awards. So I'll say DiVincenzo for the
Okay, okay.
Timberwolves.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good
Six
one.
man. Um, Coach of the year, who you got?
Coach of the year. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a shocker, but I'm gonna say Mike Budenholzer. The
Oh
reason why I
no.
say that,
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna say that because I just think that people are gonna rate the Suns high. They're gonna win a lot of games in the regular season, then choke in the playoffs. But I'm gonna give it to Mike Budenholzer.
Well, like the Suns were already like a good team. So I mean, how can
Oh,
how
so
can
you're
he be coach of the year? I don't know. It's
so
your
you
pick.
want it to be a surprise team?
Well, I mean, it's your choice. It's
Hmm.
your selection, not mine. So if that's your selection, then that's your selection.
Okay, maybe JB Bickerstaff.
There you go. Of what, the Pistons?
Yeah, Pistons.
Interesting. Okay, maybe. Elliot, okay. I mean, that's more likely than Bud, I suppose. So I would agree with that. Um, yeah, congrats to Bud. Hope he's doing okay. He looked in really good health last night when I saw him. So he looked very spirited and in great shape, and he looks like a different person. He looks younger than when he was with the Bucks. He looks
Yeah,
like a different person. So that Arizona sun is treating him well.
yeah.
My coach of the year. Oh, where do I want to go with? Um, hmm,
Hmm.
uh,
Maybe.
I'll say Rockets. Ime Udoka.
Oh, I forgot about him. That's a great choice. I could see that. I could see that.
That's where
Um,
I'll go with that. Um, Most improved player. Who you got?
that is tough. Most improved. Most improved. That's tough. Oh, I got one. RJ Barrett.
Okay. That's possible. Could
Or
see that.
Cade Cunningham?
I will say, um, yeah, Cade Cunningham. That's a good one. Good pick. Um, yeah, this is always a tough one.
That's a
I'll
tough
say
one.
I'll say Jalen Johnson
Oh, that's a great one.
for
That's
the
a great
Hawks.
choice. That's a great choice.
He seems like the type that could take a step that could win an award like that.
Yeah, with the
And typically, that
minutes.
award tends to go to like a third or fourth year player, which kind of fits him. So,
Yeah.
because once you get into like your fifth, sixth, seventh year, you kind of like the NBA doesn't really look at you for like most improved awards. I feel like
Jonathan Kaminga.
he's a candidate as well.
Yeah.
I would put, yeah, he's a candidate.
Who you got for Rookie of the Year?
Um, oh boy,
Bronny James.
oh boy,
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
oh
kidding.
boy.
Connect Four. Just
Dalton
kidding.
Connect. Um, I'll say, um,
I'm just gonna
uh,
say the #1 pick.
Richache. I'll
Yeah.
say Reed Shepard on the Houston Rockets.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Wait,
I'll
you
say
know what?
him.
I changed my pick. I changed my pick.
What are you
Um,
changing to?
Alex Sarr because he has Trey Young passing him the ball.
You mean Richache? Alex
Oh
Stars on
yeah,
the Wizards.
that's who I meant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Richache. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's a good pick. Um,
Um,
I mostly agree. I'll just, for the sake of picking somebody else, I'll say Reed Shepard.
Defensive Player of the Year. I want to give it to Bam Adebayo or Drew Holiday because they deserve one, but
It's
it's going
gonna.
to be Webby.
There you go. I think it should have been Wembanyama last year, personally. The only reason they didn't give it to him was because he was a rookie and it was too soon.
That's
And they
true.
couldn't give him Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. So we both agree there. So we did Defensive Player of the Year, we did Sixth Man, we
MVP.
did Coach of the Year.
MVP.
Oh,
I got
um,
3 options. Luca because they really want him to do it. Anthony Edwards because I think he's going to take another step forward. And SGA. It's going to be someone in the East, you know? I mean, West.
hmm. um, so who's your pick?
I'm going SGA.
Yeah. Oh, man, I want to say Giannis, but the NBA hates Milwaukee, so
I want to say
we,
Giannis too, but it's
we
just
know
not
how this
going
goes.
to happen.
Um, uh, Embiid won't play enough games, probably, if the news about him is true. Uh, Obviously, there's Jokic always, of course, but you know that that has to change at some point. Um, I will also say SGA. I'll agree with you.
Our first
Shea,
agreement.
Shea Gilgis Alexander. So did we do all the awards? We did Rookie
Yeah.
of the Year. We did Most Improved. We did Defensive Player of the Year. We did MVP, and we did Coach of the Year. Yep. All right. Well, I'll
Well,
let you get going.
all right. Yeah. We can always like, comment, and subscribe. And, oh, guys, whoever's watching, predict who's going to win the championship. I pick the Milwaukee Bucks. Who's your prediction for the
Um. Oh boy. Uh,
It's a toughie, huh? I'm rooting for
Uh,
my Bucks.
so are you giving a finals prediction of teams to play in the finals, or just saying Bucks?
Maybe Bucks versus the Thunder.
Okay.
Bucks in 6.
I will say that um oh man, I hate doing this. I do. I really, really do. I'll say the NBA Finals is the Thunder versus Celtics, and the Celtics will win.
Wow,
Ah,
the 19th championship. Wow. But
there you
we
go.
got to it.
See, that'll make Celtics fans feel better about whatever I said earlier.
Gonna start with the West. The best in the West. Oh, yes. So let's start with OKC. Bringing the Thunder. Oh, yeah. They got, some good free agents and trades, Isaiah Hartenstein and
Good work.
Alex Caruso. And of course, I picked SGA to win MVP this year. And they just have a young group that I think is going to get better and better. Chet, they got Luke Dort, they got Jalen Williams. It's like nonstop. Oh, they did trade Josh Giddey to the Bulls, but I think, that was for the best. Where do you think their ceiling is? Do you think they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals, the NBA Finals? Where do you see them at this season?
Uh, I'm very high on them, so I see them as probably the 1 seed, and I probably have them making the finals. I predicted
Oh,
in our
okay.
first video.
Yeah,
So I agree with you probably with SGA for MVP most likely. Um, they have everything. It seems they're deep. They have shooting. They the addition of Caruso and Hartenstein really make them stronger. It solidifies what they were kind of missing a little bit last year. They needed a big body to go up against like Jokic, Anthony Davis, those types of centers. They didn't really have that because they just have Chet, who is good, but he's very, very frail and skinny. So he can't really handle the big boys and in those matchups. So they needed some size, and they went out and got it. And he's a great rebounder. He'll add a lot of second chance points. He'll give them a lot more possessions, which is huge in the playoffs. Caruso, one of, if not the best perimeter defenders currently in the league right now. For sure, he's like got to be top 5 for sure in terms of perimeter defense. So he's just a smart veteran who will bring a ton to them. That was probably those 2 moves might have been the biggest of the offseason last year in the NBA, potentially. They got young guys who are going to keep taking steps forward in Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. And they just, Lou Dort, solid, really good defender, more
yeah,
perimeter defense. He's a classic 3-and-D shooter who adds a lot to them as well. They're just, they're 8, 9, 10 players deep. Isaiah Joe is a backup. Their point guard, he's a good
yeah.
shooter.
Every
They just
sign.
have they just have a lot. They
Yeah,
have a lot. They're scary. And they're young and they have a million draft picks. So it's like they're going to be good for like a long time. People are talking about the Celtics being a dynasty. They shouldn't talk about that. They should talk about the Thunder being the dynasty, in my opinion, because the Celtics don't have that type of draft capital. They don't have all those draft picks, and they're not old, but they're
yeah,
older.
yeah.
They're older. I mean,
I understand.
Derek White is a little older. Drew Holiday is older. Al Horford's older. Brown and Tatum aren't old. They're kind of like right in the prime stage. But yeah, I mean OKC is terrifying. I'm I'm very concerned about them.
Yeah, gotta deal with
So
them for years and actually
if
decades. You know.
if the Bucks were to face them in the finals, ideally you would want to do it this year while they're still kind of young and in that growing stage, because now would be the time to face them when you can kind of like pounce on them before they get older and more experienced, because at that point they're probably not losing, but right now they might potentially be vulnerable in the finals just simply due to the lack of experience.
Yeah. Youth is
But I'm
pretty.
very I'm very high on them. I think they have a good system, good coaching. They're just extremely deep. They seem to have everything: perimeter defense, 3-point shooting. Those are probably two of the biggest things in the NBA right now that you need as a team. They improve their rebounding, which is huge if you want to be a contending team. So it seems like they have everything.
Yeah.
It's
I
a bit
picked
scary.
them. I definitely picked them to be in the finals because I
You
don't
know, when
see
I
them
was when I was
happening.
little, I was always scared of thunderstorms, and oh no, there's thunder, and now it's like, oh, it all makes sense.
Oh
Makes sense
boy.
why I was scared.
Oh boy.
I need a thunder buddy
Oh wow.
to get me through this time.
Oh wow. So they had the 12th pick this year, and guess what his name is?
Um, I should know this, but I'm blanking a bit.
Nikola
Uh,
Topic.
Tolpek. Okay.
Nikola Topic. I
What's his
just thought,
position? I'll admit I'm not familiar with him.
I'm not sure, but I just find it interesting that there's a lot of Nicolas in the
There are.
NBA.
Yep.
Let me see. Nikola Topic. He's 19. Wow, so young. Let's see
Like
his
AJ,
position.
like AJ
Oh,
Johnson.
6'6". Point guard, shooting guard.
Like AJ Johnson.
Crazy man, crazy man. So we could talk about the Mavs. They did get to the finals. They did get Klay Thompson. You know, how much is Klay Thompson's gonna help? He has experience. He's not as young as he was, but I think he actually had like 22 points in his debut. That's what I saw
Yep.
online. So that's a pretty nice debut. And I think did Buddy Hill had that too.
Yep.
So I thought that was funny. But so they re-signed Marquise Morris, Brandon Williams. They also added Spencer Dinwiddie, Quentin Grimes through a trade, Nigel Marshall, free agent. But they did lose Josh Green. Oh, and Derrick Jones. Derrick
Yep.
Jones went to the Clippers. Josh Green went to the Hornets.
That's random. Who goes to the Hornets? Sorry.
That's a dig. Maybe he.
Did we even talk about the Hornets in our first video? I don't think we did. Come to think about
Hornet.
it, we never talked about the Hornets, Ashley, in the East. We missed them.
Didn't
No, we didn't. We didn't,
we
honestly.
didn't talk about LaMelo?
No, we
Oh,
didn't.
we didn't.
We
Oh
could
my.
touch on them briefly here, I guess, now,
Okay,
since
LaMelo.
we forgot them.
Well, they got. Oh yeah, we didn't. They got Brandon Miller. They got Miles Bridges re-signed, and they have.
Mark Williams.
Yeah. Didn't they get a new coach? Let me see. I
Yeah,
wrote
we
some
forgot
notes
about
down.
them.
Oh yeah, they re-signed Seth Curry. The new coach is Charles Lee from
Oh,
the
former
Bucks.
from Bud's staff.
And they got Taj Gibson as a free agent. And number 6 pick, oh my goodness, I have no idea how to pronounce this name. Jane Saloon.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I am so sorry, Hornets fans. Buzz City is possibly a play-in. That's my prediction.
Yeah, at best. At best, they're a play-in team. At worst, they're a lottery team. LaMelo Ball can never seem to stay healthy. It must be those big baller brand shoes because it's just killing both those brothers.
I don't even really think, I think he signed to Puma, but maybe the shoes messed him up early on. I don't know, but
He's just always hurt. He's good, but he's just always hurt, it seems.
he did have a good first game of
Debut.
the year.
I saw that. I did see that.
So
And Brandon Miller's a great player. He'll keep taking steps forward. You just want to see growth. You just want to see signs of life. You just want to see, steps taken. You don't want to stay the same or go backwards. If you're a 25-win team, then the next year you want to be a 35-win team. You want to take steps. You don't want to be a 25-win team and then the next year win 20 games or stay the same, have the same record. You want to keep taking steps. You go from 25 wins to 35, and then hopefully you go from 35 to 43 or something, and you just want to keep improving. That's what you want. So I like some of their pieces. I like some of their players. They're young and it's not their time. Just gotta be patient.
Yeah.
Like Jason Kidd once said, we're all young.
Oh man, J Kidd. Oh, speaking of J Kidd, he's the Mavs coach.
The Mavs coach who we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, first of all, it's incredibly weird to see Klay Thompson not on the Warriors. That's incredibly strange. I honestly never thought I would ever see that. I thought that would never happen. I thought that Draymond Green would be the first one to go out of that trio rather than Klay. I thought it was pretty much so a given that Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry would retire both with the Warriors. So that is very shocking and strange to me. It's strange to see, but I don't know what to predict really with Klay because, I mean, I know he had a really bad preseason and then he had a great first game. So that's kind of how he's been the last 2 years, just kind of all over the map. He'll have a good stretch for a little while. Then he'll have a stretch where he looks like he's completely finished and completely done. Then he'll kind of have another stretch where he shows life. So it's all about how consistent can he be? What type of role is he going to have? He has to make the adjustment possibly to playing some less minutes, being a bench player now in the stage of his career. And if he can embrace that, then it'll probably go well for him. But I know there were some times in Golden State the last year or so where he was kind of struggling with accepting that different role kind of. He was struggling with, getting benched or taken off the court late in games where that's never happened to him before in his career. So that was a big adjustment for him.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to predict for him. I don't know. Dallas, I'm a little unsure of slightly. And I think they're good. They definitely have a chance to contend again, and they have a chance to go back to the finals, but they just have Kyrie Irving is kind of another piece that's unpredictable. Last year he was really good and he was available a lot, but other years he is not available a lot. So it's kind of a mixed bag there. What do you don't really know what to expect. He could be there or he could not be there type of thing. So, and then just, they lost a couple of their role players, I suppose. Derek Jones Jr., I think he might have been a starter for them in the finals. So, I mean, losing a starter is maybe not ideal for them. Josh Green kind of played a pretty decent role, I think, on their team. He got some minutes off the bench in the finals, I remember. So those losing those guys might hurt a little bit, possibly, but maybe not. PJ Washington, he's kind of good, but he can be inconsistent as well. So don't always know what you're going to get from him. Sometimes he gives you like 25 points, and sometimes he gives you like 6 points. He's kind of like all over the map a little bit. So we'll see. They'll be a top 3 seed probably in the West for the regular season, and they'll have a good chance to go to the finals again because of Luka. And, and as much as I hate to say it, I do think Kidd has improved as a coach since his days in Milwaukee. It pains me to say. Oh, it pains me.
Pains you, huh?
It pains me. And I'm not kidding around. Ha 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 ha.
Nice. I
still have his bobblehead.
Oh yeah, I think I do too.
Coaching bobblehead. We'll remember the good days. There were a few.
Yeah, that's when we were young bucks.
My favorite was his first press conference with the Bucks, and he kept like talking about Ersan Ilyasova, and we're gonna drop like every single play for Ersan Ilyasova, and it's like, do you know we just drafted Jabari Parker? Do you know who Giannis is? Do you know who these like people are? And he's just like, oh yeah, like we're focused on Ilyasova right now, and I'm just like, huh? It was very interesting.
That's funny.
He had some legendary post-game press conferences too, including one in which he said the basketball was alive and the ball had eyes and ears, and if you don't play the right way, then the ball is not going to do what it's supposed to do, or something. Some crazy stuff. Some crazy quotes.
I don't know. I don't know about that, kid. Get it?
Get it together.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to predict. I think.
And in some ways, Luka can sometimes be a little hard to predict too. Like sometimes he is really locked in, really focused. He's like really in shape, and then other times it seems like he is maybe a little out of shape, maybe like not focused as much as he should, like especially on defense. So it's like as great as he is, and he is very great, of course, he still has some of those little concerns sometimes where it's like, are you going to try hard on defense, or what are we doing exactly? And sometimes I just wonder if he has too much freedom to do anything he wants to there. Like maybe there needs to be more structure sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like just entering in like his real true prime right now. So we'll see. It's all it's early in people's careers sometimes still when guys are, it's only your 5th or 6th year and you've got a lot of time left. So anything can happen.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make it to the finals, but I think they'll go far. But we have to see what they do trade deadline, because even the trade deadline really helped them out last year. So
it did. Who was that other piece they picked up at the trade deadline last year?
It was
the center.
Washington and Daniel Gafford.
Gafford, that was it. Yeah, he did real well for them. They had a good trade deadline, real good trade deadline last year. They were like the winners of the whole trade deadline. So Oh yeah. We'll see what they do at the trade deadline. If they do something else like that, then yeah, it could change things. Oh, and Derek Lively too. He's another good young player that's
Yeah, I
going to
like
keep
him.
taking steps.
Yeah, I like him. Good lob threat. Oh, let's just transition to the Warriors. Get it? Because
Yep,
Clay,
Clay.
it's so hard to say goodbye.
Oh god.
um, oh, I do like the Cal Anderson free agent pickup. I do
Oh
like
yeah.
the Buddy Hield swish swish. Um,
Well,
pick.
Ashley, you should like anyone named Kyle. I mean, come on now.
Nice one. That's a
How
good
could you?
one.
How could you not like a Kyle? Come
That's a
on.
good one.
I refuse to
So
believe they're that you don't like every single Kyle in the world.
that's a good one.
Yeah, so they picked up what was it, Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson.
D'Anthony Melton.
Oh yeah, Melton. Whenever I say that name, I think of like a ham and cheese melt or something.
Jonathan Kaminga. I was like, if he takes a big step, then maybe they'll, surprise some folks. You know, I think Buddy Hield helps with the Clay Thompson, missing Clay Thompson. I do like Cal, your
Anderson.
name,
You like
because
me? Oh yeah, I have a friend.
because he seems like a great all around player.
Slow mo.
Yeah.
Huh.
And let's not forget Andrew Wiggins. Maybe he can bounce back from his.
Moses Moody's another young guy too
Yeah.
that they just gave an extension to,
Yeah.
and the Wisconsin guy Brandon Podjemski. Pods. You remember him?
Oh
He was a
yeah.
rookie last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pods. I thought you were gonna say Kevon Looney
Oh
or
no,
Patrick Baldwin.
is Kevon Looney still on the Warriors?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so.
Draymond Green. Um. Steve Kerr said this is the deepest team he's ever had recently. He
Hmm.
said that. So I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty good. But yeah, I heard Kaminga and Pods were like untouchables in trade talks. And according to Draymond, they almost had Paul George. They could have had Paul George and Laurie marketing.
Yeah, I don't really care what that guy has to say.
Draymond. I think he already got a technical from the
He
first
already
game.
has a technical,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous, but classic Draymond. It'll soon be a matter of time before he's ejected from a game,
Yeah.
no doubt.
And who knows? He might not retire as a Warrior.
Hopefully, it happens against the Bucks where he gets ejected. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be funny. I feel like the Warriors, I can't, it's hard to put my finger on them. I think maybe they have a chance. I don't know. I think the highest they could go is maybe the Western Conference Finals. I don't see them in the finals
You think they
anymore.
could go to the Western Conference Finals? Wow.
I mean, you never know. Sometimes
Maybe.
players go on a run that's crazy.
I see them as probably like a playing team.
Man, tough. The dynasty is over, huh?
The West is just tough. The West
Yeah,
is full of great teams, younger teams, and Draymond and Curry are getting a little older. Curry's still obviously great and everything,
yeah,
but I don't know. Who knows about Draymond? That guy's unpredictable. He could
yeah.
get he could get suspended for the whole year for all I know.
He might cost his team some games from being ejected.
He never learns his lesson. It'll happen again where he'll do something crazy. They'll suspend him for like 5 or 10 games. Then he'll come back. He'll say, "Oh, I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to do this again." And then 3 weeks later, he's going to do the same thing again, get another suspension. NBA players are going to say, "This guy needs some help." And we're going to go through like the whole thing again, probably. And it's just like the same thing every year.
Yeah. But I do like pods. They don't seem to be that committed to Kaminga. It's like they like him, but I think they're far apart and
Who are their who are
extinction
their
talks.
who are their other bigs besides Kevon Looney? Oh yeah, they have the young guy, Trace Jackson Davis.
What about they have a 52 pick, Quentin Post? I wonder if he's a post player
Oh
because his
jeez.
last name is Post. Oh
I
man,
wonder if he moves on defense like a post. Get it? Because posts don't move.
that's a good one. You're coming up with good metaphors.
Do you know of any other bigs they have besides Kevon Looney and Trace Jackson Davis? I guess
Um,
Draymond's considered a small ball five, small ball center.
what do you consider Cal? A 3 or a 4?
Kyle Anderson, he's
Yeah,
like a three. He's like a three to me, maybe a four at best. He's definitely not a five.
I was right. Quentin Post is a center. Oh, they have Gary Payton the second. We
Oh
forgot
yeah,
about him.
GP2.
They don't have a lot of. They don't have many bigs besides the guys you mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to put your finger on them because Wiggins is unpredictable also. He had a great run in their playoff run to the finals and then he just kind of disappeared and he hasn't really been seen since. So who knows? Like they're very unpredictable.
Not good, not good. So the Denver Nuggets. You watch them get, you know,
Beat pretty solidly by the Thunder tonight.
they got toast, bolted, lit up.
Struck. They were struck by Thunder.
Yeah, thunderstruck, like that KD movie. Yeah, it was like a bad basketball movie he was in, but
Okay.
yeah, not
Yeah,
big.
Denver, I don't really know what's been going on with them lately. Something doesn't seem quite right with them. They've lost from the championship team. They lost Jeff
ACP.
Green. They lost Jeff Green. They lost Contavious Caldwell Pope. They lost Bruce Brown, and they
Oh
haven't
yeah,
really been able to replace those guys. And their bench is different now. Their bench is like weaker, and they're relying on like 3 to 4 young guys to take like big steps forward. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Christian Braun, he's pretty good.
It's a dangerous game to assume that all your young players will just take steps. If you're lucky, maybe 1 out of 4 will like take a big step, but odds are is not all of them will. But maybe I say that as a Bucks fan because all of our young guys never seem to amount to much.
They
Maybe so.
got
I'm just.
they they seem
And I
to.
think you. Sorry, it's a small thing. Did you say Christian Braun?
Yeah, isn't that his name?
It's actually pronounced Brown.
Oh, really?
But it's weird because his last name is spelled like how you would say Braun,
Mhm.
but it's actually pronounced Brown. It's Christian Brown, just like Jalen Brown. But I know it's spelled like the former Brewers player Ryan Braun, so it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But it's Brown. Um, I don't know. Like obviously, I have to put Denver high up there, obviously because of Jokic and how great he is, and I still have Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Feels like we've just kind of been waiting on him for a few years to take a bigger step and being more consistent. And sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. Aaron Gordon's still very reliable, solid. Um, Westbrook, I didn't really like that signing.
He didn't really play well in the game. I saw the numbers. They weren't good. Like they got Dario Saric too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Saric. He's a solid addition.
Draft a young guy, but seems like they need some win now guys. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of their young players, like Peyton Watson, Christian Brown. I just, it's always tough with young players. Are they ready? Are they ready or not? You're not really sure until it kind of plays out.
Ready or not.
But I wasn't that big on the Westbrook signing. I don't know. I don't know how much he's really got left to give, really.
This is his last chance.
He kind of just seems like not the best fit. I don't know. Some people think he is going to be a good fit. I'm not sure that I think that.
Well, I heard they want to play. Huh?
I question it more.
Yeah. I heard they wanted to play with each other.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. They still they'll
be probably number 2 or 3 seed in the West, and they'll be right there, and they'll have their chances. Just like last year with Jokic. When you have a great player, an MVP, and a top player in the game, you'll be right there. In the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they're going to need some other pieces to grow and step up. Maybe the trade deadline will be important for them. Maybe they'll do something at the trade deadline.
They definitely need to.
Maybe they'll pursue like a Dorian Finney-Smith from like the Brooklyn Nets, and then he can kind of replace KCP possibly. Yeah. That move would make sense, I think.
It seems like they didn't replace him. KCP. Yeah. Let's go to the Kings. Their big acquisition was DeMar DeRozan. So he is with Fox now, and he's with Sabonis. I feel like they're a very underrated team, but they still have Malik Monk, They still have Kevin Huerter. They re-signed Alex Len. Jalen McDaniels threw a trade. They have Jordan McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, not McLaughlin.
That's how it looks. That's how
come on, Ashley.
As the free agent.
Don't laugh at McLaughlin.
No, I think that's a solid backup point guard. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, he was on the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Keegan Murray.
Oh yeah, I do like him. The 3/4. Swish.
Yeah,
swish.
He's a good young player that's taking steps.
Yeah.
They still have Trey Lyles, who Brooke Lopez tried to destroy a couple of years ago. Remember that one crazy
that was fun. That was
when they pushed Giannis at the end of the game, and then Brooke and him went toe to toe.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I loved seeing that.
Yeah,
I loved seeing Brooke get fired up. My only, yeah, I mean, I kind of like some of their roster, and Now, Keon Ellis is another kind of good young player I like. Is it just me, or like looking at their roster, I see a ton of guards, like their whole team is like guards, and they have like no bigs.
Orlando Robinson, that's a big.
Yeah, but no Sabonis, yeah, I guess, and just
Alex
no
Len
real,
seems
no
to be
real,
back.
no real like super high quality bigs is,
Yeah.
no disrespect to those other guys. My other question is, who on that team plays defense? Are they going to be able to stop anybody?
Probably not
Is like
because
every one of their games going to be like 136 to 132 or something?
oh man, you are right.
Because Sabonis doesn't really play defense. DeMar DeRozan is too old to really play defense, and he never really played defense anyways. De'Aaron Fox is, I don't know, he's maybe average. He has the speed to play defense, but I don't know if he's a great defender.
They
I don't
lost
know.
their guard defender,
Kevin Herter,
Davion Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell, he was a good defender. So who on that team is going to play defense? You need somebody to play defense,
That's
and
true.
I don't really see it on their roster. I would argue you need about 4 or 5 or 6 people to play defense to be a really good contending team. So if you don't even have one, then the alarm bell should be going off. Like, ring, ring, ring. We need some defense. Like, hi, 911. Like, what's your emergency? What do you need? Like, we need defense and we need it now.
Oh, that's a good one. I need to keep that one in my back pocket. Ring, ring, ring.
Don't actually try it though. Don't actually call 911 and say you need defense.
911. We need some
They're,
defense.
they're gonna be like, "Hi, Miss Ashley. Like, what is your emergency today?" Or she's like, "The Bucks need defense. We need it right now." Like, no, this does not count as an emergency.
Call JC Whitworth 877 cash now.
Cash now. Now that's an emergency if you need your cash now. Just
Hey,
don't call David. You can call JG Wentworth. Just don't call David Gruber. None of that one call. That's all stuff. I've had
yeah,
enough of that.
I think
I
they're
think everyone
probably
has.
going to be, in the mix between
They're like
maybe,
a playing. They're a playing team to me. The Kings.
I think like 7 through 5, maybe 5, 6, 7, that range.
I'd be surprised if they were 5,
Really?
but
Oh, wow.
maybe, maybe, maybe I'm selling them short.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
You need some defense, and I don't know if I
That's
see
true.
it.
Trade deadline. Gonna need at least 2 trades to help them. And it has to be defense trade.
Maybe they could target a Dorian Finney-Smith from the Nets at the trade deadline. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be like the Jay Crowder, the PJ Tucker, that type of guy that gets traded at the trade deadline.
They're gonna need a big though too. That's sort of like a rim protector at least.
They need a lot.
Let's keep it in Cali. Let's go with the Clippers. You said you you like their new arena and their new
I
logo.
do very much.
Yeah. They did some re-signings. Harden, Zubac. They have Mo Bamba. I really thought Mo Bamba was going to be good, but there's still time for him. I think bigs are slow to develop sometimes. Oh, they got Batum as a free agent. Chris Dunn through a trade. Derrick Jones Jr. free agent and Kevin Porter Jr. They got some juniors. Okay.
No.
um.
Yeah. I'm going on there. Yeah, the new arena's awesome. I love their rebrand. I love the new jerseys. I love the court. I love the new logo. It's super awesome. I despised their old one greatly. I strongly, strongly hated it. I thought it was maybe the worst brand and worst logo in maybe professional sports. I thought it was
Oh,
that bad.
really?
The court was horrible. I disliked so much about it. I didn't
Uh,
like the font of their lettering and everything. I just thought it looked very weird and tacky, and I wanted something clean and fresh and simple and professional, and that's what they did. So, big credit to them. Shout out Clippers. I would, if I was in their fan base, I'd be buying up a bunch of their new gear and new merchandise with their new rebrand. It's really cool. Um, as far as the team goes, I don't know. They're tough to figure out too. It's what's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard. How much is he going to play this year? Like what's going on there? What can he bring? Harden's getting older. What can he really do? I'm a believer that a team led by James Harden can never win anything. So that's just my take.
uh,
Um, I don't know. They don't really have any super young up and coming pieces. They're kind of like a team that's kind of stuck in limbo, sort of, where they're older, but probably not good enough to really contend, but they're not really young and rebuilding. So it's kind of like, what are they? Like, where are they? They're just kind of like stuck in the middle a bit with a bunch of like older win now players, but can they actually win now? Like, I don't know. They've got Milwaukee Bucks career killer Norman Powell, so they got that going for
I do
them.
like him. I do like him.
Um, Terrence Mann, people have kind of been waiting on to kind of break out or take a step, and I don't know if he really has yet or if he can. Um, Zubac is solid. I like him. I think he's pretty good. Kind of underrated, I think. They've got some okay, solid bench players like Amir Coffey, Chris Dunn, Kevin Porter Jr., who you mentioned. Batum, I've always liked, but he's getting old for basketball. They got our former guy, PJ Tucker, who wants a trade now. And I actually just saw a report like an hour ago or so that the Bucks are kind of monitoring him or seeing where he's at for a potential trade. So who
They
knows?
need to
Maybe
just they need
maybe
to buy
there
him
could
out,
be a
save him.
maybe there could be a PJ Tucker reunification in Milwaukee. Who knows?
He'd be happy.
Of course, I don't really know how much of a role we can really offer him, so that might be a little bit of an issue. Like, would he be happy coming here and playing 5 minutes a game? Like, I don't know.
They would have to tell him, hey, you're gonna be on the bench unless someone gets hurt.
You're here for like a veteran leadership and another voice and extension of the coach. And I know he knows Doc Rivers from being in Philadelphia with him, so maybe that connection helps us. So he knows Doc, he knows our players, he knows the core from our championship. So who knows? But I also saw that the Sixers were inquiring about him. I think the Heat also. So maybe we'll see. We'll see where he ends up. But it's clear that he's not going to stay on the Clippers at this point. That's clear because the Clippers kind of told him to just stay home and wait until they find a trade for him.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see what happens with the PJ Tucker 2024 sweepstakes. Step right up and win yourself a PJ Tucker.
The Clippers, I think they might have to owe the Thunder their draft pick this year, I
I think
think.
I saw that too. If the Clippers have a bad season and get like a high draft pick, I think it's owed to the Thunder, which is crazy. That's scary.
Yeah, I know. They're
Isn't that
probably,
guy Cooper? Isn't that guy Cooper Flag coming into this year's draft?
oh yeah, from Duke. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
imagine him going to the Thunder. Oh my God, that's scary. Please don't happen.
man. I think where the Clippers went wrong is trading SGA. That's their
Yeah,
biggest problem.
They went all in on Kawhi and Paul George, and it just didn't work at all.
Yeah. Willie can stay in LA, this time with the Lake Show, the Lakers.
So wait, sorry. Before we move on to Lakers, what's your? Did we give a prediction for the Clippers then? Like, where do you see them finishing?
Oh, maybe a
I
play-in
think
team?
I think maybe like a 6 seed, maybe.
Really? So,
Probably a first round exit.
yeah. Because I don't know how much Kawhi's going to play, so
I
maybe a
think they're a
play-in.
little better than a play-in team. They're better than a playoff team than a play-in team, I think, but they're not good enough to like be at the top. So that's why I think they'll be like a 6 seed.
I do like Ty Lue as a coach.
And the West is competitive, so really both conferences are.
Yeah.
So now we go into the Lake Show.
Yeah.
I know you like their new city jerseys, the Lake Show jerseys.
Oh, yeah, I do like their jerseys. A lot of the city edition jerseys are a little plain to me this year, except for the Lake Show. Theirs is pretty good. They got JJ Redick, who doesn't really have experience, but they hired him anyway. Well, at least they tried to get the Huskies Dan Hurley coach. They tried.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, who knows if they really were do. I kind of wonder if they just did that to make it seem like they weren't going after Redick right away. Like,
yeah, that could be, yeah.
Like make it seem like they were doing their due diligence and doing all this searching, and then they happened to go with Redick. I will say I was impressed with Redick's first game coaching. He looked pretty good, but only game one.
That's true.
He looked good though.
I think being friends with LeBron is paying off,
Oh yeah, of course.
The big news is they re-signed Max Chrissy. They drafted Bronny James, and they Connect Four, Dalton, Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, I really like him. He was a good draft pick.
Yeah, West Side Connect. They did fire Darvin Ham, who is one of our assistants now on the Bucks.
That was ridiculous that was honestly ridiculous that they fired him.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the scapegoat, I guess. So they're blaming it on him, that happens.
They got Bronny James Jr., this season's Rookie of the Year.
I think they can do very well if Anthony Davis stays healthy. I do like Rui Hachimura. I do like him. Yeah, Hachimura. I do like him. I think he's a good young. He's solid. Combo forward.
Yeah, he's like a 3/4, 3/4.
Yeah. They also have Austin Reeves. They have D'Angelo Russell. They have a lot of talent, but is that enough, really? Especially in the West? To contend? I don't think they're contenders.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably like a 5th, 6th, maybe like a 5th seed kind of. Maybe. I don't know. It's tough to predict. They could be anywhere from like 5th or maybe 4th to like play-in. Hard to say.
I think they need one more guy to go with Bron and AD.
All depends on the health of Davis too. Last year AD was, super healthy, but historically that's an outlier. So will he be that healthy again this season? We'll see. He was amazing in their first game, though. I'll say that. He was great in their first game.
He's got to bring it every night.
And they got some they got some good young shooters, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. The Wolf. Oh
Did
wait,
the who's new on the Lakers, or who did they bring in?
I think they still have Jackson Hayes.
Oh yeah, Jackson Hayes on the bench.
Let me see.
He's
Anyone new?
solid.
Um,
Um,
Christian Coloco.
oh yeah, Cam Reddish still there. Gabe Vincent.
Yikes. He was injured. And Vando, he's injured. You know, Jared Vanderbilt.
Yep.
They didn't really make any splashes. I don't know if they didn't make any splashes.
Nah, nothing too big free agency wise.
Yeah. So maybe in the middle of the pack, maybe like fifth, sixth seed, depending on the health of Anthony Davis. And of course, LeBron, But he's he's gifted a great body. Hmm. Want to move on to the Wolves?
Um,
Wow, the Wolves.
yeah, we can.
They drafted Rob Dillingham, number 8 pick. I hope I said that name right. and
Yeah, that's right.
of course, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo through the trades. Look, they got Joe Ingles free agent and PJ Dozier free agent. And they re-signed Luka Garza. They did lose Cal Anderson, who I do like. Of course, they lost Cat. Monte Morris to the Suns. Wendell Moore Jr. to the Pistons. Um, I don't know how the Wolves will do, only because how well is Dante and Randall gonna mesh? They didn't get a full training camp together. It was a late trade.
Yep.
And so now I know Edwards is gonna make a jump, but how is Randall gonna mesh with the starting five? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand that trade in general with the Knicks and Wolves happening so late in the season. I wouldn't have changed anything if I was either team. If I was the Wolves, I would have just kept everything the same. If I was the Knicks, I would have kept everything the same. I wouldn't have done that trade from either side. I think
Yeah,
the trade might end up kind of hurting both teams, actually, possibly.
yeah,
I just wouldn't have done that trade. Very
yeah.
weird.
I guess they. I heard that the Wolves were trying to, because Cat is owed a lot of money and Anthony Edwards' contract is going to be coming up. So I think they had to get rid of,
To save up money to pay Edwards, maybe.
yeah, because I think they had to give up like Nas Reed and who else? Jaden maybe Jaden McDaniels.
What do you mean? Nas Reed is still on the Timberwolves.
No, I'm just saying like if they had to give up someone, I guess they gave up Cat instead of Nas Reed plus
Oh,
another contract.
oh,
That's what I meant.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, Dante will be good for them, of course, I think. It just seems weird to disrupt chemistry like that, but maybe they'll get it figured out during the course of the year.
Dante got a beard like you. He's trying to get like you, Cal.
Okay. That's a astute observation.
Yeah. He's letting it Grow out.
So you think Dante wants to be like me? I think I want to be like Dante. I want to be in the NBA. Get me his contract. I want, I want his salary.
Shoot in the threes. Swiss, 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 swiss.
Maybe I can pretend to be Dante for like a day
You
or
never
something.
know. They're gonna say, "Hey, are you Dante?" Walk
I do
around.
kind of look. I do kind of looks a little like him a little bit. There's some small resemblance.
Yeah, the beard. That's what's doing it. Walk around Minnesota. I bet you someone is gonna.
Huh.
Yes.
Hey Dante, like somebody will chase me down and want my
Yeah,
autograph.
there's a lot of lookalikes and doppelgangers out there. I think the Wolves are actually gonna be good.
The Wolves
Um,
have Joe. The Wolves have Joe Ingles now.
yeah, that's funny.
That's random.
He's so old, but
Ouch.
but I
Better
think
be
the
careful.
Wolves are gonna be good.
He's only like 6 years older than me, I think. So be careful there.
I think they're gonna be top four, and I think there's a chance that they go to the Western Conference Finals versus the Thunder. Maybe that would be a sight to see. Ant-Man versus SGA. That's
One guy
that's
I was kind of surprised by last year was Nikhil Alexander Walker. I think played pretty well for them. That one kind of surprised me.
yeah. That's what happens when you develop as a young player. Then a team trusts you. Because
You
at
get a
first he
change
was
of
with the
scenery.
Pelicans. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I'm still just not really a big believer in Rudy Gobert in the playoffs. He's the one who I'm never sure what to think about because he always looks good in like regular seasons and he wins all these defensive player of the year awards, and then the playoffs come and he just looks like a completely different person, and like all of that defense goes away and like it just is like negated, and it's just like really weird. Like it's very strange how he gets like exposed in the playoffs and stuff. This is very weird.
Yeah, some players are just regular season players, and then when you can spend time, time,
A lot of
time,
time, a lot of film on him during the course of a series. It's just
yep.
different. They put him in the pick and roll and they get him on the perimeter, and it just changes things. He's more of a rim protector, kind of, but he's not really he doesn't really do much elsewhere.
Yeah, not really good. And Shaq and him are always going back and forth beefing. I'd be like, oh
And
boy.
did you hear him recently? He said like, "Oh, all those defensive player of the year awards I won, like try to show me somebody else who deserved it in any of those years." Like he said no one else deserved it any of those years but him. I'm like, "Come on now. Really?"
Hell,
Like I could make the argument that Wembenyama should have won last year over him.
yeah, it's
To
almost
me, like I always think of him like I know he's like a four-time defensive player of the year. He should be like a two-time defensive player of the year in my opinion.
yeah,
Like it should be like half of what it is.
yeah, that makes sense.
That's just me though. We'll see. I think the Timberwolves, I'll say they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, I think, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Wolves Mavericks Western Conference Finals. I think they can get back to the Western Conference Finals, but I think they'll lose in the Western Conference Finals again,
Yeah.
probably to the Thunder.
Wow, our picks are, just alike.
Oh, did you also have Thunder Wolves Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, I said it would be a sight to see SGA versus Ant-Man.
It would be. That'd be a great final Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, yeah.
Our minds are connected once more. You and me were like Kobe and Shaq. We're like Kareem and Oscar. We're like Wade and LeBron. We're like Giannis and Chris Middleton. That's who we are. That's who we are, Ashley.
Connected.
Nobody else can be on our chemistry level.
Nah.
All right, who's up next?
We can go to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies.
The Grizz.
Yeah, they have Zach Edey. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yes. Nice
Well
pick
done.
overall. They re-signed Luke Kennard. That's basically it. They had a lot of people leave. Zaire Williams to the Nets. They did have some draft picks. Derrick Rose retired. Oh man, Derrick Rose retired. Oh man.
Yeah, that was a little sad.
People we grew up watching are getting older.
You don't say. Impossible.
But they do have Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Junior. Yeah, it's Jackson, right? JJ.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, the defensive machine.
Yeah, the guy who won Defensive Player of the Year over Brooke Lopez when it should have been Brooke 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't get me going on that now, Ashley.
I mean, it was close. What can you do? I think.
They got Gigi Jackson Jr., who I like.
Oh yeah, he was a rookie last year, and he had that. He played really well against the Bucks, and he said he looks up to Chris Middleton. He models his game after him.
Yeah, he had kind of a wholesome interview with Shaq, also on TNT, because Shaq was like, "Hey, like this is Shaq or whatever," and his eyes kind of like lit up, and he was all excited to be able to talk with Shaq.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Grizzlies, it's kind of all about health. I mean, they were the most injured team in the league last year. John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bain, like they just had a lot of guys out. A lot of guys missed time, so for them, it's all about health. All about health for them. If they're healthy, they can have a chance to have a great season. Absolutely. Santi Aldama is a pretty good player. Let's see if he can keep making steps. They have good old Marcus Smart, who I can't stand, but we won't get into him, I guess. At least he's not on the Celtics anymore, which helps. Zach Edey did foul out of his first game, and he only played 15 minutes, so that was a little rough.
Not good.
I don't know if you noticed that.
They have that small Japanese point guard.
Oh yeah. I'll have to look up his name.
Yuki
Kawamura.
He's 5'8".
Yeah, there was a picture of him standing next to Zach Edey.
Oh yeah,
it looked so weird.
That was a good photo.
Wow, Zach Edey is 7'4". That's crazy. He's like Wembanyama.
There's a photo of John Morant jumping really high, contesting the shot.
Contesting whose shot?
Zach Edey's.
Like in practice or something?
Yeah, practice.
Oh, I was going to say, like, why would he be contesting his own teammate's shot?
Practice? You talking about practice? I can see them being...
I would say, like, maybe second round.
Yeah, I could see
maybe
that.
Maybe a second round exit.
I think they're very talented, too talented to get out the first round. But yeah, it all depends on health. A lot of their players were injured. It was crazy. I think they'll have better luck this year, though.
I think they'll be like a 4 or 5 seed, and then probably at least make it to the second round. Who knows, if they're healthier, they make moves at the trade deadline, they could go even further. So
I do like Brandon Clark.
Yeah, he hasn't really been the same since he had an injury. In the last couple of years, he's kind of struggled to get back.
That's true. That's true. Next we have.
Pelicans?
How did you know? That's next on
Well,
the list.
I
Wow.
told you, Ashley, we are dialed in.
Wow.
This type of chemistry is unmatched.
Unmatched. Unmatched. Surreal. Their big acquisition was a trade with the DeJounte Murray. He finally gets to be, instead of playing off the ball more, now
And you
he's
see
the point guard.
did you see he fractured his hand in their first game? Did you see that?
No. Oh,
You didn't see that?
no. Was that
DeJounte
today?
Murray, it was yesterday. DeJounte
Oh,
Murray fractured hand. The injury luck, the injury bug is just cruel. It can really just
it's
be cruel,
terrible.
Ashley.
Terrible. Terrible.
Not fair. So
I like
I don't know how much time he'll miss. Maybe like a month or two. I don't know.
not good, not good, not good, not good.
It's early in the season, so I would guess they'll
That
probably
is
play it.
that's the good part.
The silver lining is he could still play a decent amount of the season.
I think
Possibly.
Brandon Ingram, he had 30 something, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know how long it takes typically to recover from a fractured hand. I would guess at least a month. I would guess.
Does he have to have surgery?
I don't know. It's the good news is it's not his shooting hand. It's his
Oh, okay.
it's his non-shooting hand, his non-dominant hand.
That's good. That's good.
So that part's good. We'll see how much time he misses. They have a good backup in Jose Alvarado though, so
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah.
little guy who likes to like hide behind players and get steals in the backcourt
Oh yeah.
and
I like
stuff.
him. I like his attitude. Trey
Yeah, I
Murphy,
do
they
too.
got
I
Trey
like a
Murphy.
lot of their players.
Yeah. Um.
Their center, they brought in Daniel Tice
Oh
after
yeah,
losing
they did.
Valanciunas. I do think losing Valanciunas hurts them. Going from Valanciunas to Tice is a downgrade.
They have Herb Jones playing center, right? Six,
I think
seven.
so. That's a mistake.
I don't know why they did that.
That's a mistake.
You're gonna need a big,
Yeah, they do.
a starting type of big.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm not sure what they're thinking there. Zion did lose weight. That's good.
We'll see. I feel
Uh,
like he's done that kind of in other years and then he gains it all back or something happens. So who knows? It's hard to stay in shape for him, especially the whole season.
yeah, I guess.
He's obviously the big X factor. Brandon Ingram kind of has an extensive injury history, kind of too. So
Yeah, he
he's
does.
another one.
And I
I
heard
like a
he.
lot of their players. They got another good shooting guard off the bench who's young, Jordan Hawkins. I think he's got some potential.
Oh
They
yeah,
have good old steady
uh,
vet CJ McCollum,
mid range.
mid-range master. He's still really good. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I really want Zion to just be healthy, and he's a fun player to watch. He's one of my favorite players to watch outside of the Bucks, but just needs to be healthy. Simple as that.
yeah. We've been missing some prime time Zion.
They should be a playoff team, I would think, somewhere in the top six seeds. Top
Yeah,
six seed.
it all depends on health. If Zion's healthy, they're going to make the playoffs. If Zion isn't healthy, probably play in.
You know, it's all he's the straw that stirs the drink.
So, the start. Oh, that's funny.
What's your prediction then for the Pelicans?
Play in if Zion is injured.
Okay,
Playoffs
fair.
if Yeah, playoffs if
Man,
he's healthy.
Zion he was playing at almost an MVP level last year when he was healthy and playing for a while. Early in the season, he was kind of a dark horse MVP candidate. He was playing really, really well. He just has to be healthy and be on the court. Simple as that.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorite players to watch, so I hope he's healthy.
simple as that, yo.
It's always kind of funny how he like runs and moves on the court too. It's very like interesting and unique.
Yeah.
He's got a very interesting style.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Nice segue.
Phoenix Suns.
They
Our
got
old friend Mike Budenholzer.
yep, new coach. Bud.
He looks good. He looks healthy. The Arizona sun is treating him well. He looks like he's doing better. So I'm happy for him. I know he had a lot that he was going through here in Milwaukee. So even if I might not have always liked him, or some people might not have liked him, I still have to. I mean, I still care about him. I still hope he's okay. So he seems to be doing better, which is good. It's good to see. It was good to see him.
Championship made history together.
He did. He did. He'll always have that
I
with
know.
us. I'm sure he and Giannis and he and Middleton and Lopez and everyone will share their embrace.
Mm-hmm.
They'll share a moment, probably. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So,
So, anyways, what do you think about the Suns?
they got their big three: Booker, KD, Bradley Beal. They could score a lot. I just don't know if there's enough defense and rebounding. They re-signed Bobo, Damian Lee, Josh Okogie. Oh yeah,
Okoji? Okoji.
Okogie. Yeah, Royce O'Neal. Yeah, those are good.
Tyus Jones was an addition.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good PG that they
That was
got.
a good move. Monte Morris
Yeah,
was an
Mason.
addition. Ryan Dunn was their draft pick.
Yeah. Ooh, and they also drafted the Marquette guy. It looks.
Also,
Yeah.
I can't quite say his name.
Ojidoro.
Um,
That's my best guess.
let me see here.
Because I know he played for Marquette a lot. And he was playing real good. He got a nice little
I'm
floater.
seeing the pronunciation as Ig Iguodaro.
You got it.
Oso Iguodaro.
And
Yeah, I know a lot of people really like Ryan Dunn, their draft pick. I like the move of Tyus Jones also. I think that's a very underrated, very good move from them. He's a very good steady point guard. He's he's very underrated and good. He's steady. Nurkic, he's solid. I don't know. For them, a lot of it is about health, of course, with their core being a little older with Beal and Durant. Beal always has an extensive injury history, so he's got to be healthy for them to make noise. Mason Plumlee is a solid, good backup. They do have some good depth. Royce O'Neal. They have a really strong bench. They have a strong bench and good depth. And some of the best scorers in the game, and Devin Booker and Durant. So, and Beal as well. So, what do you see for the Suns? What do you see for them?
I see.
Well, I know it's hard to see things when the sun is in your eyes, but we'll just we'll have to try to still see.
I predict they're gonna win 50 plus games. gonna be one of the top seeds, but I don't think they're gonna go far because there's just not enough defense. Who's gonna do all the dirty work? I feel
Yeah.
like, you know how Booker did like the dirty work for USA, sort of. I think someone's gonna have to do that, and maybe it's Booker. I don't know.
Are you referring to what are you referring to? Like getting
Team
loose balls or
ball,
rebounds?
yeah,
Loose
guard
balls, 50-50 balls, getting offensive rebounds.
guarding the best player.
I kind of see Nurkic as that type. He gets a lot of like offensive rebounds and does some of the dirty work.
Yeah, I think, yeah, somebody in the big three has to do it though. I don't think it can just be their role players. Yeah.
I do like that they got a point guard in Tyus Jones because last year they kind of didn't really have a point guard. It was just sort of like Devin Booker, like masquerading as a point guard, but we all know that he's like not really a point guard. That's not really his position. So they did a good job in like making that more structured and getting like a structured point guard in there. I think well, I already predicted Western Conference Finals. I predicted Timberwolves versus Thunder, so I guess I can't predict the Suns to go there.
And you know,
Um, they have a chance to. I don't think they'll be a finals team. I don't think they'll make the finals, but I think they will be close. I think they'll compete for it. I would say.
okay.
I do wonder if the first day of practice when Mike Budenholzer walked into the gym and if he walked up to Kevin Durant and thanked him for the size shoe that he wears.
That's a
Like,
good.
hey, hey, KD, man, like, what size shoe you wear again? Okay, well, thank you. Like, thank you. You saved my job in Milwaukee, man. You saved my job. Thank you, man. And he goes, yeah, I got you, bud. I got you, coach.
He's gonna say, "Wear smaller shoe size for us, okay?"
Yep.
That's a good one.
And Bud is reunited with former Buck Grayson Allen.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Grayson Allen. He had a
So
great.
he and Bud have that connection
Yeah, so that should be great.
from Milwaukee.
Um,
So what do you predict for the Suns for the as it relates to the playoffs?
um, maybe semifinals.
Okay. So
They're
you think
close.
they're maybe missing another piece, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who would be perfect for them.
So what do you think they need? Do you think they need like an energy guy? Like a defender type?
I think they're probably gonna need like someone to spark up the bench, but also do the dirty work.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know who that would be.
yeah.
I'm trying to
Who's
think of potential trade targets, but I don't
who
know.
score off their bench? Let's see.
We'll see if they'd maybe do something at the trade deadline, maybe.
Someone that would be perfect. Well, before his injury, Brandon Clark would be probably kind of perfect.
Or like a Dylan Brooks type, like one of those like kind of goon type people who play hard defense and kind of get in the opponent's head,
Rough it up a little bit.
rough it up, like Patrick Beverly and throwing basketballs at people in the stands.
Maybe like a young PJ Tucker.
Well, PJ is going to have to find a time machine for that one.
Oh yeah.
Should we move on?
Let's go to the Spurs. Wemby.
Wemby fever.
Wemby. So Coach Pop, Wemby, they got Chris Paul and there's these stats that show that every time he goes to a team, he increases their chances of winning. So we'll see if that happens. I still don't think they're like a playoff team. I don't know why he didn't go to like a contender, but maybe he doesn't want to chase the ring, or maybe he wants a
Yeah, I
big
don't know.
role. Maybe he doesn't want to be a 6-man type of
He
role.
would make sense in like Boston with the Celtics off of their bench. That would make the Celtics even more of a favorite, I would say.
Yeah. They drafted number 4, Stephon Castle.
Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable on him, but I know a lot of people kind of like him or
I
liked him in the draft.
want to say I could be mistaken, but I feel like he's from UConn, but I could be mistaken.
He is from UConn.
Oh, okay. Then
Well
I'm
done.
correct.
Well done.
Oh, no. Or was it? I feel like he was. Let me see. Somebody from UConn was drafted high.
Stephon Castle was from UConn. I have the roster up, so it's confirmed.
It's confirmed. It's confirmed. Hey, they re-signed Sandro,
Mamu
Mamu,
Mamu Kilashvili,
and Charles Bassey, it says.
Harrison Barnes, free agent edition.
Yeah, maybe they wanted some more vets. I
Yeah.
like Kendall. Kendall on the Spurs. I do like him.
Who?
Kendall Johnson.
What did you call him? Kindle?
Yeah, wait.
It's Keldon.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Oh,
I'm
Ashley.
all of these names wrong.
A Kindle is like a device that you use to like read like stories and stuff.
That is true, Kendall. That is true.
Kindle
Oh,
Johnson. Oh my gosh.
maybe it's getting late.
Yeah, Keldon. He's
But
been around a little while now.
I like him, but I think I he was like in some trade rumors, so I don't know how they feel about him. I like
Yeah.
him.
I think the Spurs are probably a playoff team, honestly.
Oh, okay, okay. Because of CP3 and Wimbiana.
Wembanyama, yeah.
Jeremy. I like him.
Jeremy Sohan.
And Devin.
We're, yeah, I mean Wembanyama is obviously I don't. Yeah, I mean, I know everybody kind of is going crazy about Chris Paul and Wemby and everything, but I don't know. To me, like maybe if it was 5 years ago when Chris Paul was younger, that'd be really cool. But he's old. Like, can he even play more than 20, 25 minutes a game? Like, I don't really know how much that helps and changes things. I mean, even if it does work out and they have a great season together, what's the future going to be? It's not like Chris Paul's going to play for 4 years on the Spurs or something. Like it's a very small, limited window
Mm-hmm.
where it's like they'll play together for like 1 or 2 years, maybe. Like it won't be much due to his age. Like Chris Paul is basically LeBron's age. Like he's almost 40. So, I mean, how much more can he really play? You'll have to kind of ask. But Wembanyama's, the ceiling's unlimited for him. So depends on how fast he grows. If he grows quickly, then their record can rise.
I see playing team. But
Yeah.
that's me. Yeah.
So we both agree.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Want to go to the Rockets?
Um. Yeah. Sure. The Rockets are being
Off.
sent off.
Blast off. Rocket power.
Houston, we have a problem.
They drafted Reed Shepard. I think, didn't you say
I picked him for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he was your pick for Rookie of the Year.
I really don't know about that one. That was just kind of a random guess of mine.
He was playing well in Summer League. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was basing it off of.
Yeah.
I think I might actually change my pick on that one.
To who?
Am I allowed to change my Rookie of the Year pick?
Why
right
not?
now?
Why not?
My Rookie of the Year pick, I am going to change to oh man. I'm gonna change my Rookie of the Year pick to Zach Edey.
Nice. Possibly getting some double doubles.
I kind of just I think what might happen is because he's going to be like a starter with the Grizzlies, and I think the Grizzlies record will be improved. So it's kind of like they'll be an improved team, and somebody will have to like kind of get an award for that, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like when Malcolm Brogdon came to the Bucks, and like he didn't necessarily put up like the craziest stat line, but he helped us win a lot of games and improved us. So he won Rookie of the Year as a result.
Yeah.
I'll say Zach Edey, Rookie of the Year. What the heck? Just kind of a shot in the dark here, but I'll change my mind.
That's a good pick.
He's 7'4". Like, pretty hard to stop that when you're 7'4". Rocket power. Yep.
They're a very young team. Green. Sugan. They have the Thompson twin.
Yep. Amen, Thompson.
Amen. They have a lot of, young talent, but can it mature? They got Fred VanVleet, who's sort of like that championship experience they have.
Oh, no. No mention of Van Fleet. Don't bring me back to 2019, Ashley. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put me through that.
He killed us.
Don't put me through that.
After he had his baby.
And he couldn't miss a shot after that.
Maybe babies do that. Help ya. Yeah. They got Steven Adams and Dylan Brooks.
Do? Yeah. Is Steven Adams healthy or is he hurt?
Oh.
I think he might be hurt for a while.
Yeah.
Let me check on that.
That's probably why he got traded, because of his injuries.
It says he's just day-to-day.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So, but he didn't play at all last season.
Yeah.
Something happened last season that he didn't play. They got Drew Holiday's brother, Aaron Holiday.
Yep.
They got Cam Whitmore.
That's another young piece.
Alperen Sengun. Jalen Green. Jabari Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah, he has a lot of potential.
Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason.
They have to improve within.
Reed Shepard. Yeah, it's all just about internal improvement, internal growth.
Yeah.
I think they'll miss the playoffs and miss the play-in.
Really?
Oh wait. Nope, but I said Ime Udoka was my pick for Coach of the Year. I'm actually gonna do something here. Can I change my Coach of the Year pick again?
Okay.
Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm changing my Coach of the Year pick to Memphis, Taylor Jenkins.
Oh, okay, okay. Good
Changing
pick.
my coach of the year pick. I think the Rockets, I don't know, maybe they'll be a playing team. Maybe missing it was too harsh. They're just they're very young. They're pretty young,
Yeah,
aside from like Van Fleet and Steven Adams.
yeah. I think their problem is they're young, but they don't have like that SGA type of player that can lead the young guys.
Yeah, Jalen Green has a lot of potential, but he's just been a little too inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's got to become a more consistent, steady player.
Yeah, I thought Jabari Smith Jr. would make a jump in the second year, so maybe he'll make a jump into his third year.
And Sengun is the big X factor. How good can he be? How good can he become?
He's really good.
I know they just gave him a really big contract extension, so now he's kind of got some pressure to sort of perform a little bit.
Yeah.
If he could be like a 20 and 10 and 5 type center with some decent defense, then that'll go a long way for them.
Yeah. He's he got some skills similar to Jokic.
So, what's your prediction for the Rockets?
Playing team
Sounds about right.
sounds about right. Okay.
We're down to 2 teams left for the
Two
West.
lotto teams. The Blazers. We're gonna blaze the trail.
Hey, do we know that for certain?
Chauncey
Um,
Billups is the coach. Oh, congrats. A Hall of Famer. Billups
yep.
now.
I mean, he might be a decent coach. He's just hasn't had any talent to work with in Portland since he got the job.
Yeah.
They still have DeAndre Ayton, which is really weird. I don't know. I thought
They
they were
need
going to trade him.
they need to trade some of their players like Grant to like a contender.
Yeah, why is Jeremy Grant still in Portland? I feel like he's been in trade rumors for like 3 or 4 years, and he's still there.
They have Robert Williams.
They have a lot of weird, like older kind of win now pieces that don't really fit.
Anthony Simons.
He's still like in his prime. He's a
He's
prime
young.
player. Scoot Henderson, he's got to develop a bit more.
Yeah.
Last year was a little disappointing for him.
Yeah.
They have Keegan Murray's brother, Chris Murray.
Yeah.
They have Tuamani Kamara. They have Denny Avia, who used to be on the Wizards, who I kind of liked. They have Matisse Thybulle. They have Donovan Klingen.
Yeah, he
Klingen.
played well in the summer league.
He's from UConn. He was the 7th pick in the draft of
Yes.
this
I
most
think he's
recent
gonna be
draft.
pretty good for them.
Yeah, he's got a bright future, I would think. We'll see.
And they
If
also
I
have
was
that
if I
young
was
guy.
if I was Portland, I'd be trading DeAndre Ayton and starting Donovan Klingen and just building around him.
They have that young guy that can really jump out of the gym.
Oh, Shaden Sharp.
Yeah. So
Yep.
focus on those young guys, Henderson, Sharp, Donovan. Focus on those young guys.
Yep. Yeah, they're probably a team that'll miss. Well, maybe they could maybe be a playing team, but that's
Really?
their ceiling.
No.
What do you think? They're just a lottery team.
Yeah, Lotto team. I don't think they
Well, it
have
depends on
no
what.
chance.
To me, it depends on what they do with like those veterans. Like if you keep some of the older veterans, they might be good enough to give them a couple extra wins.
Don't
No, you
do it.
don't think so?
I'm
Oh,
just
you're
saying,
saying don't do
don't
it.
do it.
Oh yeah, they should trade
Trade
them.
them, trade them, trade them. Get assets. Don't try to go for a play-in. No.
In order to build a new building, you have to tear down the old building to clear room on the for the site for the new
Don't be
building to
like
be
the
built.
Bulls. Don't be like the Bulls.
Don't keep the truck in neutral and just stay in the mud. You want to try to keep moving.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But who knows?
In order to clean up your room, you got to make it messy first. In order to build a new building, you have to tear down the old one to make room for the new building site.
Cal, being golden with those analogies and sayings, those metaphors.
In order to start each day fresh, you got to change your socks. You can't wear the same socks forever. You got to rebuild and restock your sock drawer with new socks.
It probably would have been better if you said underwear.
Yeah, that would have been like weirder though. So
I guess so. Yeah, that's
I
true.
stuck with the socks.
The clean version, right? Right.
Yeah,
So let's
we keep it clean. We keep it PG on the Ivy
yeah,
Ballin show.
let's keep it PG. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, the Trailblazers they got some solid young pieces, but they need to trade off their veterans and embrace the rebuild, embrace the process. To your point about the Bulls, the Portland Trailblazers probably could have Wembanyama right now also if they wanted to.
Exactly.
If they would have traded Dame like 1 year sooner and embraced like the rebuild, they could have had themselves Wembanyama.
Exactly. Exactly.
They didn't want to do it.
And it's surprising because teams were tanking for Webby, and we knew about him for a while now. So
Yeah,
I guess
everybody knew about him, so you think they
yeah,
would have done it.
I don't
Because
know.
they traded Dame in whatever it was, September of 2023 at the start of Wembanyama's rookie year. So if they would have traded him the offseason prior in summer of 2022 instead of 2023, then they could have gotten a head start on the rebuild and they could have possibly gotten the number one pick and drafted Wembanyama. Oh,
Very
wow.
cool.
What were they thinking?
I have no idea.
All right, who's last? The Utah
Last,
Jazz, I think.
last but not least, sweet music, sweet jazz music.
You know, it's very fitting that we're ending with the Jazz because I'm tired and I'm getting ready to go to bed. And the music of the Jazz and the conversations about the Jazz are going to be putting me to sleep.
Woo, jazz. You know what that means? You're a lotto team. Embrace
Yeah,
the youngins. So you know what that
embrace
means.
embrace the tank.
Glory marketing.
They should trade him. Can't really understand why he's still there.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of talk last year about trading him, but then they never did.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson too. They should trade off some of these vets. What are you trying to do with some of these vets? Patty Mills is on their team. Like, what are you going to do with this team? Like, those veterans aren't going to do anything for you.
Mm-mm.
I just
I
don't
don't
understand it.
feel-
It's like the Herb Cole Bucks with like Karan Butler and like Gary Neal and like Luke Ridnour and some of those dudes. It's like what are we doing? Like what good are those guys going to do for you?
Don't be stuck in no man's land.
You gotta embrace the youth, embrace the rebuild, and focus on like the right things.
They did have like number 10 pick Cody Williams. Don't know much about him.
I don't
29th
know.
pick Isaiah
I don't.
Collier.
Yeah, I don't know too much about either of those guys. Walker Kessler is a pretty good young player. I like. We'll
Don't they
see.
have
Like what we'll
Hopkins
we'll
in
see
there
what he can
still?
grow into. He's kind of like a young Brooke Lopez.
I believe the Jazz are just going to be a lotto team. There's not going to be any play in, but just lotto, lotto, rebuild, rebuild. What about you?
Yeah, I would. I think I would have to agree. You're just looking for I would look to trade off some of their older vets and just build around the young guys and look for internal growth, internal progress, and if you keep practicing the melody, eventually the song, it sounds perfect. You'll you'll make it sound as great as it can be. Sometimes you might just have to look at the music notes for a while and do a lot of practice, and it takes time, but in time a beautiful song can be formed. It just might take a lot of practice and time.
Yes,
That's what they're looking for in Utah.
there will be high and low notes, but eventually you'll be playing all the right keys.
Maybe they can trade us Lowry Markkinen for like Marjan Beauchamp or something. Hey,
Why not? They got Colin Sexton.
It's late at night. A person can dream. Don't crush my dream.
Jordan Clarkson. They have a lot of players they can trade.
They do. I do like some of their young players though. Like I think his name is Taylor Hendricks. He's like a forward, and then Walker Kessler. I like. He kind of reminds me of a young Brook Lopez. So they have some good pieces. They just have to embrace the rebuild and wait out the process. That's what it's all about. We had to do it as Bucks fans. We had to embrace the rebuild. We had to embrace a 15-win season. It was rough for a time, but there were brighter days to come, better days to come.
Yes, the sun will come out tomorrow and play beautiful music.
And so beautiful music will be heard eventually again in Utah.
Yes. And shout out to Utah for having good concession price food.
Do they?
Yeah, like.
How do you know that? Have you been to a game?
No, someone showed the concession prices and it's really cheap.
Oh, that's nice.
Cheaper than most arenas.
50 cents for a hot dog.
Nah, more like $2 maybe.
I don't think it's that cheap.
Hey, those prices looked really cheap.
Well, I could say in order to coax fans and get fans to the stadium to watch that team, you kind of do have to offer cheap concessions.
Sorry, Utah. It must be done. Well, I want to say thank you, Kyle, for joining me. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and stay ballin'. Any last words?
No, thanks for talking basketball again. It's always fun talking basketball with you, Ashley. And I'm just happy the NBA season is back, and we have all these games to watch now, and it's my favorite time of the year. This is when I'm happy. This is when I'm at my happiest. So
yeah,
it should be fun. So go Bucks, and hope everyone out there is doing well and having a good start to their fall.
Yeah.
So,
and
thanks again, Ashley, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right.
Peace.
Take care.
Take care. Peace. And good night.